A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all-old-time radio.
This is Nightline, your open door to people and places, and this is Walter O'Keefe. Nightline invites you to listen in on NBC's award-winning science fiction series, X-1. Now escape to a world of the future.
Countdown for blast off. X-5, 4, 3, 2, X-1, fire. From the far horizons of the unknown come tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future, adventures in which you'll live in a million, could be years, on 1,000 maybe worlds. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, presents
X-1.
Tonight, Volpla by Wyman Gwynn. But first, hear this.
Hello, I'm Dorothy Olson, singing schoolteacher on NBC's big weekday musical show, Bandstand. But right now, I'd like to talk to you parents. I'd like to ask you a few questions as you're getting ready to send your youngsters back to school. Are you helping your child get the most out of his school? Do you make his home conditions favorable enough for him to do his homework? Do you show an interest in his schoolwork? Remember, your child's success in school and later on in life depends to a large degree on your attitude towards his schooling today. And there's another important thing. Everyone needs a good send-off in the morning, and that goes for children, too. Be sure your children have a substantial breakfast and a cheery goodbye before they head for school each day. Remember, you can't expect your child to do it all himself. Encourage him in his schooling, both in your attitude and in your actions as he goes back to school this fall.
Now, X-1 and Volpla.
Lunch, dear.
Oh, I'll be right there.
Come on, you old hermit. I have a buffet on the terrace.
I'm coming. So, I'm an old hermit, am I? And our daughter says I'm eccentric now. I wonder how the devil she ever found out.
From me, of course.
But you love me just the same.
Oh, Max, what's got into you? Stop it.
Oh, I reached the dangerous age. And, lady, I am going to have fun.
Well, come on out to the terrace. The hamburgers will get cold.
My dear, I'm going to have a new kind of fun.
Oh?
It's a joke. I'm going to play a tremendous joke on the whole world. I had been working for this moment for 10 years, and now, Volplas, 3 of them, a male and 2 females. I had called them Volplas since that day 10 years ago when I got the idea of creating a flying mutant, which I would teach to feed, play, and talk. Now I was almost ready to play my joke on the world. After lunch, when I returned to the lab, the Volplas were moving about on the mattress where I had placed them, and the male was trying to stand. They were about 28 inches high. Except for the face, chest, and belly, the Volplas were covered with a soft, almost golden down. The skin was pink. Upon his head and across his shoulders, the male had a shock of fur as soft as a chinchilla. The cranium was in the same proportion to the body as it is in the human. And they were shockingly human-eyed. When the male spread his arms, the span was 48 inches. I held his arms out and tried to tease the spars open. These spars turned backward and ran alongside the wrist almost to the elbow. Powerful wrist muscles could snap them outward and forward. Suddenly, as I teased the male Volpla, this happened. The spars shot outward, adding 9 inches to each side of a span. The lateral skin, that had until now been resting in folds, was tightened into a golden plane that stretched from the tip of the spar to his waist, a true gliding plane, perhaps even a soaring plane. By 4 o'clock that afternoon, they were ready for their first solid food. Come on now, here, hold the cup. That's the way. Hold the cup. Oh, you're a beauty. You're all beauties. No, come on. Hey, don't climb on my back. No, now stop. Oh, that's better. Oh, hello, pretty one. Hello.
Hello.
So that's the way it's going to be, eh? Hello.
Hello.
Wonderful. Oh, you have no idea what I have in store for you, my dears. I will teach you a language. Perhaps English, a simple basic English. You will have your own crafts, and you'll live in small tree houses, and I'll teach you legends that you came from the stars, that you watch the red men and the white men, and you listen to their speech. And when you're able to take care of yourselves, I'll turn you loose. There'll be Volpla colonies up and down the coast before anyone suspects. And then, my dear, one day, somebody will see a Volpla, and the scientists will observe them. Then the legends will come. Isn't that funny? Don't you think that's terribly funny?
Funny.
You're listening to Volpla. Now back to X-1 and Act 2 of Volpla.
I used the metabolic accelerator to cut the Volpla's gestation down to 1 week, and I used it to bring the infants to maturity in 1 month. By the next spring, I had a colony of over 100 Volplas, and I shut down the accelerator. From now on, they could have their babies in their own way. I had devised a language for them, and I carefully adulterated it with English, as if they had observed us and learned. My Volplas were amazing. They were bilingual. Well, Jane and Susie went down to Santa Barbara for a week, and I took the opportunity to ship the male and the oldest 2 females out of the lab. I put them in a Jeep beside me and drove to a secluded valley about a mile back on the ranch.
Tree, rock, sky.
That's right, Chief. That's the sky. All right, come on now. Everybody out. Run, jump.
Jump, run, sky.
That's right. Take off. Go ahead. He spent about 2 hours chasing the 2 girl Volplas around, and then he made a leap for one. And when he spread his arms, his spars snapped out, and those golden planes sheared into the air.
Sky.
He sailed over her, and he rose up, and he hung in the breeze for a long moment, 3 feet above the ground.
Fly.
That's right. You can fly.
Oh, fly.
They learned quickly and brilliantly. They were not really flyers. They were gliders and soarers. Before long, they took agilely to the trees and launched themselves in beautiful glides for hundreds of feet, banking and turning and spiraling to a gentle halt. Oh, I laughed out loud with anticipation. Wait until the first pair of these is brought before a sheriff. Wait till the newspaper reporters are routed out into the hills to witness this. When they were tired, the Volplas lay on their backs with their planes stretched out. The oldest one came over to me. He squatted his elbows resting in the ground, his wrist crossed at his chest.
Before the red men, we live here?
That's right. In places like these, you lived all along these mountains. Now there are very few of you left. Since you've been staying in my place, you've naturally forgotten the ways of living outdoors.
We learn again. We stay here?
That's right. Now look. Look, you see up in that tree? That's a bird. That's your food, if you can kill it.
How?
Well, I don't think you can get at them in the tree. You'll have to soar up above and catch one of them on the wing when they fly away. Go ahead, try. He climbed the tree and launched himself and caught a warm updraft from the hillside. In no time, he was about 200 feet away. He began working his way, crisscrossing back to us, and then suddenly he dived. He caught the bird! He caught the bird!
Bird! Bird! Bird! We eat!
Yes, you eat this. I'll show you how to build a fire. Again, I told them the story I had made up. How they came long before the red men in a ship from the stars. I taught them to point to the planet Venus and say that was the star they came from. I grinned to think of the many stories that would be written in the Sunday supplements. Oh, what a great joke I was playing on the world.
We came from a star before the red men? From a star?
Yes. The next week, I brought all the Volplas out to the Oakwood. There were 107 men, women, and children. By the end of the week, they were scattered over 4 square miles of the ranch. They hunted sparrows and cooked them over tiny fires. The little creatures delighted me more and more. For hours, I could watch them play. I could sit all afternoon and watch them at work in a tree house, quite forgetting to go home.
Well, how does the mighty hunter who now returns from the forest?
Fine. Oh, I've been enjoying the local animal life.
So is our daughter.
What do you mean?
She has 2 of them up in her room.
2 what?
I don't know. What do you call them?
I went up the stairs 3 at a time and burst into my daughter's room. There she sat in her bed, reading a book to 2 Volplas.
Hello there, King Arthur.
What's going on here?
Oh, nothing, Daddy. We're just reading like we always do.
Like always? How long has this been going on?
Oh, weeks and weeks. How long has it since that first time you came here to visit me?
Weeks and weeks.
But you're teaching them to read.
Oh, of course. They're such good pupils and so grateful. Daddy, you won't make them go away, will you?
Oh, Jane, why didn't you tell me such a thing like this was going on?
Now, you listen to me, mister. Your whole life is a secret from us. Just what makes you think your daughter can't have a little secret of her own?
Oh, fine secret. Didn't it occur to you that this might be dangerous? Those creatures are...
Oh, Max, for heaven's sake, they're sweet, lovable little creatures without a harm in their furry little bodies. Now, don't get excited.
Chief! Look, where are you?
Here, Bush.
Listen. Do you realize there are 2 Volplas in my daughter's bedroom?
Yes, they go there every day. Is there anything wrong with that?
But she's teaching them the words men put on paper.
Yes, you told us men may be enemies. We wish to learn so we can protect. I have Thing here.
Well, that's the San Francisco Chronicle.
We've been taking it for some time from box at your house.
Oh.
I have learned from the others. I can read most of this.
It was terrible. The whole wonderful joke of the Volplas would be lost. But I knew what I would have to do. I'd have to explain that my family and I had found a colony of them in our ranch and taught them English and taught them to read. I was stuck with that.
Men are dangerous. They will shoot us with guns if we leave here.
No. Now listen. When they know who you are, they'll leave you alone. Now, you must disperse all your families at once. Send them far away and spread out.
No, we cannot leave these woods. Men would shoot us.
But I'm telling you...
Perhaps you are not a good friend. Perhaps you have lied to us. Why are you saying we should leave these woods?
But it's important. You'll be safer.
We will decide.
The whole thing was critical. It could be disastrous. I went back to the house and up to Susie's room. I found her talking to two Volplas.
Oh, no, I'm sure you didn't come from the stars. That doesn't sound right. The more I think about it, the more I'm sure that my father made you.
Susie, what business have you telling them that? I don't want you talking to them that way. Do you hear me?
Daddy, you want to play a joke, don't you? Like the time you said I could have a horse for my birthday. You gave me that dried seahorse in the bottle instead of a real one. Were you going to make that kind of a joke?
No, now, Susie, honey, that isn't exactly it. No.
I don't think it's very funny. The Volplas are my friends. I wouldn't want to play a practical joke on them.
Chief! Chief, where are you? Chief!
Oh, confound it. The fires are out. None of them around.
Chief! Are you up there in that treehouse? Where are you? Where are all of you? You've got to listen to me. I made you. The joke, the whole joke is spoiled. Where are you? Chief! Volplas! Volplas!
I was away from the house for hours. When I came back, I found Jane sitting on the terrace.
Are you looking for something, dear?
Oh, never mind.
I suppose they're all gone.
What do you mean?
The little flying things. I saw them fly by about 4 p.m.
You did? Where did they go?
Over that way. You could see them soaring over the trees. Oh, it was so pretty.
Where's Susie?
She's been watching television. She's all excited about the rocket flights, you know.
What rocket?
Oh, you have been living in the woods. The Venus rocket. My goodness, it's been in all the newspapers. Well, where are you going?
I've got to talk to Susie. Susie! Susie!
Daddy, the rocket's almost ready to go. Listen.
It approaches 0 hour now. The rocket stands tall and silvery. The gantry crane is pulled away now. We're actually at least 5 miles away, watching from the remote monitors. Some disturbance now. It seems to be some birds. Big birds, like a flock of owls circling the ship.
Oh, Daddy, look.
Hey, wait a minute. They're flying through the hatch. It seems to be jammed open. Well, this is certainly an unforeseen development. The men on the ground are driving a motor-driven ladder up to the ship, and the owls seem to be fighting them off. Oh, there goes the hatch. It's closed. Those birds are inside. They're big birds, big as eagles. As we told you previously, ladies and gentlemen, the rocket is on automatic fire. It'll go off in precisely 10 seconds.
We stared at the television screen. We saw the red blast of fire and the silvery rocket streak up into the sky, the cameras following.
Our reporter at scientific headquarters reports that none of the rocket telemeters are recording. The owls who blundered into the open hatch in this heartbreaking accident seem to have disrupted the automatic recorders. The control circuit cannot be altered. The rocket will land on Venus as scheduled.
Daddy, those weren't owls, were they?
No, they weren't.
Owls. He thought they were owls. That's kind of a joke, isn't it? Isn't it a joke, Daddy?
I'd say, Max, dear, the joke's on you. Wait till men land on Venus and find Venusians with a legend about their great father in California.
Of course, they left me a note. The handwriting wasn't very good, but then you wouldn't write very well either if your index finger was 9 inches long. I sat on the patio and read the Volpla's farewell. It said, "The man who made us, we forgive you. We know we did not come from the stars, but we go there. I, the chief, give you welcome to visit. We will try not to laugh at you. Goodbye."
Fred Collins speaking, and I'll have a word for you about tonight's X-1 in a moment.
Say, Bert Clark, My True Story's coming our way.
Monday is the moving day.
That's good news for me. My True Story on NBC.
Well, that's good news for everybody, Dorothy Olson, for all the millions of women who've been faithful listeners to My True Story during its 15 fabulous years in radio. And for all the millions more who now have an opportunity to hear these complete stories every weekday morning in the half-hour time period just before our NBC bandstand.
And I think we ought to remind everyone, Bert, that this is the same My True Story that has been one of radio's most popular morning programs.
With a complete drama every morning about people and their problems.
Still acted by wonderful casts and adapted by Margaret Sangster from material supplied by True Story magazine.
Same time, but new station. So take note and don't miss a single broadcast. Starting Monday, September 2nd, you'll hear My True Story at this spot on your dial, just before NBC Bandstand over most of these NBC stations.
You have just heard X-1, presented by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine. Your announcer, Fred Collins. X-1 was an NBC Radio Network production.
There's excitement in the air at night, and Nightline brings it to you. Hear Nightline with Walter O'Keefe, next on most of these NBC stations.
The magic island of Euclidia may be a grand place for G47 and his scientists, but the Gregory Yacht Party are not enjoying it much. When Mrs. Patricia Gregory with Captain Tex Bradford and young Jerry Hall sailed from Los Angeles in search of Joan Gregory, Mrs. Gregory's long-lost daughter, they had many thrilling adventures and once made their escape from the scientists on Euclidia. Their freedom lasted only a few hours, however, and once again they are prisoners, held in the 9th level of the artificial island. Jerry and Joan have gone on a tour of that level, looking for some means of escape, and Patricia and Tex have followed them. Now, both searching parties are apparently hopelessly lost, as the last time we saw them, Jerry and Joan were locked in one steel room, and the captain and Mrs. Gregory in another, where we find them now.
Oh, it's no use, Tex. We're locked in this room to stay.
Sure looks like it, Pat, but why?
Well, we're prisoners, of course.
Yes, but why should this one room close up automatically as soon as we get in it?
I'm not convinced Joan was right about the scientists all giving their attention to something else. I think we've been watched all the time, and this room is a handy place to keep us until G47 is ready to do what he sees fit to do with us.
You may be right. One thing is sure. There's no sense in wearing out our hands trying to push these steel doors open.
Look, Tex, how beautifully polished this steel is. These doors are perfect mirrors.
Mirrors? Uh-huh, that's it.
What's what?
These panels are mirrors. Mirrors of polished steel.
Yes, but
well,
what?
Don't you see, Pat? They're not doors at all.
Not doors?
No.
But they must be. They all look exactly alike.
Yeah, they look alike, but they aren't. Don't you see it? They really are mirrors. And with the exception of one panel, which is actually a door, the rest of them are only reflections.
Then we've been pounding on sections of the wall?
Sure we have. We got excited and lost our heads for a minute. Now all we have to do is to go slow. Try each of these doors, or rather panels, until we find the one that's a real door, and we can open it just as easy as we did when we came in.
It's worth trying, at least.
Yes, and we'll take no chances on getting mixed up this time. I've got a heavy black pencil here. We'll make a mark on each panel we try, and we won't be doing all that over again.
All right, well, we'll start with this one. No, it isn't here. I'm sure of that.
Okay, then I'll make a big cross on it, and we'll know what... That's funny.
Have you anything to sharpen the pencil with?
Well, it's sharp enough.
But it didn't leave any mark on the door, Tex.
Watch it now while I try it again.
Tex, did you see that?
Yes, it did make a mark. But within a fraction of a second, almost instantly, the mark faded out.
I don't like this. Everything we come in contact with smacks of the supernatural.
Well, it is a little nerve-wracking, but there's nothing supernatural about it.
Well, that pencil mark disappearing so quickly certainly is...
Some sort of paint they've treated these doors with, I think. Nothing to be afraid of. It sure wrecks my idea about marking the panels.
Then what are we to do?
Well, let's see. Supposing we stand still and count all the panels in the room. Then count them as we go around. That should do it.
What was that, Tex?
Sounded like something heavy struck the roof of this room.
There it is again.
As if a large magnet. Pat, do you feel this room moving?
Yes, Tex. It's rising, isn't it?
I'll say it's rising. This thing acts like an elevator.
It must be an elevator. Jerry and Joan described the sound of those giant magnets when they rode in one of these elevators.
That must be another level we've just passed. The 8th, if Joan was right about ourselves being on the 9th.
But this can't be a regular elevator.
Sure acts like one to me.
But the size of it, Tex, as large as the living room in my home.
I don't seem to care how big anything is around this island. If they want it moved, it moves.
That must have been the 7th floor.
Well, I'm glad we're going up. I'll feel better when we're near the surface of this island.
It isn't very pleasant being locked up 90 feet below the surface of the ocean. But what if we're leaving Jerry and Joan down there?
No use worrying about that now, Pat. We can't control this. We may be getting into a position to help them as well as ourselves.
Yes, and that was the 6th level. And these levels are 10 feet in height. We're moving much slower than in an ordinary elevator.
And this steel room must weigh as much as a half a dozen ordinary elevators.
Of course. I wonder what we'll find at the surface.
Probably a reception by someone who doesn't like us very well.
And Jerry and Joan?
We'll have to wait and see.
That was the 5th floor.
You mean this is the 5th floor? We're still here.
Why, so we are. We've stopped moving.
This must be as far as we're going. Look, Pat. That door is opening.
Then we did try the right one.
Opens easy enough when you know how.
But who's opening it, Tex?
No one. That whole ride of ours was automatically controlled, I believe. Something tells me we ought to get out of this elevator while we have a chance. Might decide to go down again.
Very well, Tex, if you think it's wise.
I think it's just as wise to get out here as it is to allow ourselves to be taken down to that 9th floor again.
We didn't get out any too soon.
Looks that way.
It sounded as if it went up.
We might have stayed on it and reached the top of the island.
I think we'll have a great deal more opportunity to look around here unmolested than we would have on the surface.
No doubt of that. Let's start looking. Same thing here we had down below. Halls and halls full of shining steel doors. We don't know where any of them go.
Joan said all elevator doors open toward the outer rim of the island. And if that's the case, we should be working toward the outside by going straight ahead.
Right. We'll begin with this door in front of us. Well, we got that far anyway. What now?
Well, I'd say straight ahead again, Tex.
You're guessing all right so far. Come on, let's go.
Well, that's a queer-looking thing, Tex. Do you know what it is?
I think it's the nose of one of the Euclidean submarines. Yep, that's what it is. We're in one of the submarine locks. That's the opening in the nose of the sub.
Well, there doesn't seem to be anyone around. Would it be safe to look into the submarine?
Why not? They might as well find us looking at that as at anything else on this island.
Tex, there's someone in that submarine.
Are you sure?
Yes, way back in the stern. I can see a shadow moving around.
Can you see how many people there are?
No. Why?
I have one of the ray guns Joan got for us. I'd be tempted to argue with him if there weren't too many in there.
It might work. Joan said the Euclideans never put more than 2 people on those subs under ordinary conditions.
Hey, Mrs. Gregory, Captain Bradford.
Pat, I thought I heard Jerry.
Yes, but keep your voice down. If we heard him, those people in the submarine must have heard him, too.
Mother, Captain, come in here quietly without speaking further.
Well, that was Joan.
Quiet, Pat, and do as she said. I'll give you a hand. We'll have to climb up into the nose of that sub. Come on, easy now.
I'll make it all right, Tex. Oh, Joan, dear, what on earth is
Quiet, Mother. Get back into the central portion of the ship at once.
What do I do, Joan?
Same as Mother. Hurry, and quietly. Come here, Jerry. Quietly now.
Sure, I know.
Help me close this port. Gently.
Gently, it is.
Now lock that breech.
Gotcha.
And now we can hurry back to Mother and the Captain in the central section.
Better be quiet about it.
There is no need for silence now. I have cut off all possible methods of communicating sound or motion to the island.
I can see that you're confident we may speak with safety now, Joan.
We may indeed, Mother.
Then tell us how you kids managed to get here and into this submarine.
It was not cleverness on our part.
I'll say it wasn't. Oh, boy. We got into a room all full of doors and couldn't get out.
Well, that's just exactly what happened to us, wasn't it, Ted?
And the room then rose to this level.
And we found out we were in an elevator all the time.
That's exactly what we went through.
Yes. Well, when we found the nose of this thing open all ready for us and nobody here, we came aboard.
And I had just completed testing the controls, and Jerry was to return to the 9th level in an attempt to bring you up here.
But you got here all by yourselves. So let's get underway.
What do you mean, underway?
Surely, Mother. You and the captain sit back there where you will not interfere with the controls.
Now, wait a minute. Hold on, Joan. You're not going to try to steal this Euclidean submarine.
She's not going to do anything else but.
Oh, dear. Do you know how to operate it? Are you sure, Joan?
I believe so. I have watched the commander operate the ship many times.
Well, you've sure got your nerve, Joan. But if you'll steal it and think you can run it, we'll ride with you, won't we, Pat?
I should say we will.
Ready, Joan?
One moment, Jerry. That lever will release the mechanism which reverses the nose from that submarine lock. When I signal you, pull the lever well back.
Okay, kid. I'm ready.
Then pull.
Turning over.
Oh, we're not. That's just the outer shell we want.
But how can we see it?
The submarine is constructed of transparent steel.
Okay, Joan. The nose is clear. Now what?
I will have to perform this alone. To turn around will create too great a disturbance on Euclidia. I must run with reverse jets for a few miles.
Let her go.
Joan, we're going very fast to be running backwards, aren't we?
The speed is identical with the best forward speed. These submarines are reversible. We will soon attain the maximum speed of 48 knots.
48 knots? You mean this thing will make 48 knots an hour underwater?
It sure will. This is the fastest submarine on the island.
And it will operate at a depth of 1 mile, although not at that speed. But if we are pursued, I shall dive for the floor of one of the ocean canyons, and we will never be caught.
Never be caught? Joan, dear, you can't mean we're actually getting away from Euclidia.
To be sure, Mother.
But, June, isn't there some way G47 and the scientists can overtake us or pull us back to the island?
Not a chance, Tex. This is the fastest submarine they've got, and their magnetic stuff won't work on their own boat.
Correct, Jerry. There is, to my knowledge, no possible way for us to be overtaken and returned to Euclidia.
Oh, Joan, it's wonderful. Well, I can just hardly believe this.
It must be true, though, Pat. We're sure leaving that place behind.
And I'm not doing any crying over it. That magic island is all right for the guys who run it, but I've had enough.
I, too, have had enough, Jerry. I will proceed at full speed.
There's nothing any finer than a taste of freedom after being shut up against your will. The Gregory party is now enjoying their second bit of freedom since landing at Euclidia, the magic island. When Jerry and Joan set out to do a little detective work in the lower levels of the island, they were only hoping, and rather faintly hoping at that they might possibly discover some weak link in the Euclideans' plans to keep them prisoners. They had more good luck than anyone expected, and found one of the fast submarines with no one guarding it. Mrs. Gregory and the captain arrived at the same time. And with Joan at the controls, our 4 friends have helped themselves to the 100-foot submarine. They are now racing to get away from Euclidia and the power of G47 and his scientists.
I believe we have now attained maximum speed. You may close that valve, Jerry.
Okay, Joan. Close it is.
How can you maintain your speed in this thing if you shut off the compressed air, Joan?
The air is not used as motive power, Captain Bradford. It merely forces the fuel pellets into the combustion tank.
But, Joan, darling, what makes this submarine go?
Did you not see that small cylinder Jerry inserted in that heavy projectile-shaped tank?
See here, Mrs. Gregory, one of these little things.
Well, I see them, Jerry, but they're hardly larger than a golf ball.
They are quite large enough to propel this submersible ship for a distance of 25 miles at maximum speed.
But, Joan, 25 miles on one of these little capsules?
Approximately, Captain.
Oh, sure. There's enough of these little things here to take us to Los Angeles.
To Los Angeles?
Precisely, Mother. The first requirement when a submarine commander lands her boat at Euclidia is to refuel, and the minimum charge is for 5,000 miles.
5,000 miles? And we're only about 4,000 from home.
Then you mean... Oh, I can't even seem to say it. You mean we're actually away from that island with enough fuel to take us safely back to California?
I have stated the simple truth.
Well, it may be the truth, Joan, but it isn't so simple. How's our speed now?
We are making only 44 knots. There is some slight defect in the gas combustion apparatus.
Only 44 knots.
Yeah. Too bad we've got to crawl along at 44 miles an hour on the water. I'll bet the Navy would feel bad if their ships wouldn't do any better than this.
There is no navy in the world with a submarine that will make any such speed, or even half of it, Jerry.
Oh, Johnny was only kidding you, Joan.
44 knots. 44 nautical miles an hour. Why, that's faster than our heavy surface craft can travel.
It is interesting to contemplate the advances which may be made after this system of propulsion has been perfected.
Yeah. Maybe they'll do all right after they've quit fooling around and really get these things to running.
Now, Jerry, if you'll let Joan be sensible for a few minutes, I'd like to ask her a few questions about the continued operation of this boat and learn something about how to navigate. This is my first submarine experience.
Okay, Tex. I'll keep still.
What is it you wish to know, Captain?
Well, you started this thing and you're keeping it running. So if you know how to do that, I'll leave it in your hands. But I'd like to be of some help to you. Thought it might be with the navigation.
Tex is one of the finest navigators in America, Joan.
That is interesting, but there is no need for your services at this time, Captain.
Looks like we're just going for the ride.
Sure looks that way, Jerry.
I believe we are now sufficiently removed from Euclidia that we may, with safety, reverse the craft.
Reverse? You mean we've been going backward all this time?
At 44 knots?
To be sure. I explained that when we left the island.
Don't you remember Joan saying that she didn't dare turn the sub around for fear it would make it such a fuss in the water that the Euclideans might get wise?
Yes, I remember. But in the excitement of getting away, I'd forgotten it.
And we've been running full speed astern for the last 10 minutes?
Precisely.
I don't see why we can't feel that, Joan. I can't ride backwards in the train without feeling it.
On the train, you know you are riding backward, do you not?
Well, sure. But why?
I will give you the same sensation here if you desire it.
You'll give us a sensation?
How can you do anything about that, Joan? We've been steadily running backward, and I hadn't noticed it.
I will open the visibility slides in the sides of the submarine.
Hey, don't let that water in.
The water will not come through that transparent steel, and you should know that, Jerry.
Yeah, I did see it before.
How wonderfully clear those openings are. Everything in the water is as plain as day.
Yeah, now you can tell you're going backward all right. Seeing that marine life scooting by in the wrong direction could be mighty upsetting.
I think I'd just as soon go forward, Skipper.
I will now reverse the craft.
What, at this speed?
We will lose momentum gradually. I will cut off the power and run in a wide arc.
How could this thing be so noiseless all at once, Joan? We're still rushing through the water. Why don't we hear the water as we did before?
You did not at any time hear the rush of water around the ship, Captain Bradford. You heard the water passing through the power channels. That steel is not noiseless, as it is much more simple to check your power if you can hear it.
But the rest of this boat is made of noiseless steel.
Yes, Mother.
Boy, you sure see things when you go riding with these Euclideans.
I am no longer a Euclidean, Jerry.
Good for you, Joan.
Then you'd better remember that when we start to tell you how dumb they are in my world.
Joan will soon be of our world, Jerry.
That will make me very happy, Mother. In less than 80 hours, we will arrive in Los Angeles.
Golly whiskers.
I can't think of anything better than that to say, Jerry.
It's almost too much for me.
Hey, you sure take off fast.
We are in a hurry, are we not?
We're in a hurry to get away from Euclidia, yes. But, Joan, is this submarine safe at such speeds?
Euclidean machinery is nearly perfect. Speed has no effect on this craft.
Well, it sure has some effect on me. Are we doing full speed already?
The maximum will be attained in a few more seconds, Captain.
One thing nice about these things, they sure make up their minds plenty fast.
Joan, I don't mean to worry you with a lot of childish questions, but I'm interested in navigation. Now, how do you know where we're going?
Just what I'd like to know. These steel slides in the side of the ship are fine, but I can't see where they'd be any help in navigating.
Show them the gadgets, Joan.
Gadget?
Sure, the dingus. Thingamajig you navigate with.
There is nothing like that here, but I will show you how the instruments operate.
Oh, that'll do just as well.
Well, I don't see any instruments, at least not enough to run a submarine with.
We seem to be running all right, though.
Operation of this submarine is very simple. I will pull down the chart of our present course.
Our present course? Do you mean you've had this run charted in advance?
Of course not, Mother. That would be quite impossible as we had no advanced knowledge of the cruise.
Had you there, Pat.
Never mind, Mrs. Gregory. I feel just like you do about it. There's a nice straight line with Los Angeles marked on the north end of it. But how did it get there?
We haven't had any time to draw any pictures since we started.
This is one of our 16 basic or permanent charts, showing a true course from Euclidia to the 16 principal ports of the world.
And our course is a perfectly straight line?
Insofar as navigation is concerned, yes. although we will naturally deflect to avoid striking any undersea mountains.
Hey, I hope we do.
Yes, but what are you steering this thing with?
It is not necessary to steer, as you term it. I have merely set this lever at the point marked Los Angeles, and in good time we will arrive at that destination.
But it's impossible to sail a straight course for that distance. We must surely run dangerously near islands and sunken reefs.
We will pass around them safely. The impulse deflectors will attend to that.
We'll go around these things like that, automatically?
To be sure.
Joan, you're sailing a submarine at over 40 miles an hour without being able to see where you're going?
I am constantly watching the seaway on our course, and all is clear for several miles in advance of this ship.
Where are you seeing all that?
In this reflector suspended before me. You may look over my shoulder if you wish.
Go ahead, Pat. Take a look.
Oh, I'd like to. Tex, you can see through the water almost as clearly as you could see on the surface.
Golly, Whiskers. You sure can.
Say, that's remarkable, Joan. How did they do it?
We utilize an electric ray of atomic principle. This ray is projected directly in advance of the submarine. Mineral salts are dissolved along the course of the beam from the ray, and the dissolving salts form a path of remarkable clarity through the water.
Well, that's nothing short of amazing.
And you'd never be bothered by fog.
Euclideans are not, as you say, bothered by fog under any conditions. This is only one of the many rays used under various conditions to control visibility.
Huh. And everybody thought I was crazy when I said we were going to visit a magic island.
There is no magic on Euclidia, Jerry.
Yeah, I know. Old G47 is always raving about everything on that island being nothing but scientific fact, which is all okay with me. But just the same, it's the kind of stuff that they call magic in my country.
I can understand how Jerry feels. When you see our world, Joan, and when you see how far we are behind Euclidia and all of our machines and inventions, you'll be able to understand why this seems like magic to us.
I will try to understand.
Do you realize that when this submarine plows into Los Angeles Harbor, that we'll be the most famous people in the world?
After this small cruise, Euclidean submarines have circled the globe without rising to the surface.
Oh, yeah? How do they carry enough fuel?
We have a great deal of space here that is not being utilized. It is possible to carry fuel for 50,000 miles.
Well, no matter what you think about this cruise, there's going to be a lot of excitement when we dock.
Tex, this boat is armed, isn't it?
My guess would be yes.
You bet, with a capital Y. They've got enough trick weapons on board this thing to capture more than Los Angeles.
Well, isn't that going to present something of a problem when we sail into the harbor? Entering a port with an armed vessel is something that takes a little preparation.
Well, I think we can square that, Pat. After all, the government must have an idea as to what we're up against.
But what can we do if they won't let us into the harbor?
It's not a question of getting into the harbor. We'd be in there before anybody could stop us. What I don't like is the idea that someone will spread the story all over the waterfront. We'll have our hair full of newspaper reporters and newsreel cameras before we can protect our secret.
You will not wish it known that a Euclidean submarine has brought you back to the United States?
Why, Tex?
A Euclidean must have agents in every country. They probably have instruments on the island strong enough to locate this submarine on the surface. They'd pick the news out of a dozen news broadcasts in an hour. I'd like to keep this quiet until I can get to the government agents. Take the proper steps to protect ourselves against the Euclideans, as well as to lay our plans about going back to take over that island.
But we'll have to come up somewhere, Tex. And if we don't come up in some harbor, well, we'll never reach land, and I don't see how it can be helped.
Can you offer anything, Joan?
That is a simple problem.
Maybe it is to you, but it looks plenty hard to me to pop up out in the ocean someplace, hide a submarine, and walk into the harbor.
Jerry may be sketching it rather broadly, Joan, but that's what we have to think about.
I will take care of that. When we reach a position within 5 miles of the harbor, we will submerge to the ocean floor. The submarine will remain there indefinitely, safely anchored, and we will proceed to the harbor with our life rings.
Sounds easy, but 5 miles is a long ways to swim. If we could get out of a submarine on the ocean floor and reach the surface alive.
Yeah, it's no sense to try to get from a sub to the surface.
With the equipment I will show you, it will be easy. Please have no fear of that. If we are allowed to reach the harbor, I promise you we will land without the submarine and without trouble.
Now,
step into the incredible, amazing future as we go exploring tomorrow. And now, here is your guide to these adventures of the mind, John Campbell, Jr.
Last night, as I was going up the stair, I met a little man who wasn't there. He wasn't there again today. My gosh, I wish he'd go away. I think it was Gillette Burgess who penned those immortal lines. How do you get rid of a little man who isn't there in the first place? Well, Peter Manson was a physicist, a scientist. And his trouble started with a little man who wasn't there.
Submatrix X integrated to pi over 2 plus confound.
May I come in, Mr. Manson?
Why,
Thank you. Are you alone?
Yes.
Well, then she hasn't arrived yet.
I wasn't expecting anybody.
Oh, I am, but if she isn't here yet, I'll have some time to explain.
Who is it?
One thing at a time, sir. Now, first, have you ever considered the problem of time travel?
Time travel? Why, that's impossible.
Oh, now don't say impossible because you invented it.
I've done nothing of the sort.
History says you did.
What history?
History says that you invented time travel machinery and applied for a United States patent on June 16, 1964.
What history? That's 6 years from now.
But not from my point of view. You see, I've used one of your own time machines to come back from your future, 50 years through my past to this date, your present. Do you understand?
You claim you have traveled 50 years through time?
I am here. That's proof.
I don't believe a word of it.
Well, look 'em over. This is your own personal notebook, 50 years later than it is now. Actually, that's the same one that's on your desk right now. Now, this is a copy of your patent. Now, these documents say I'm right. I say so. See, in my day, you are the wealthy and famous Peter Manson.
Well, do you want my autograph? You may be right, but I'm not wealthy yet.
Oh, I'm not after anything. I'm here to help you.
I don't need any help.
Do you know the first thing about your future?
Of course not.
Well, I do. I know just about everything that you're going to do in the next 50 years.
Prove it. What am I going to do next?
You are about to be introduced to the woman who will become your wife.
I already know her. We're engaged.
Oh, you mean Laura Phillips. Well, no doubt she's a nice enough girl, but she's not for you. You'll break that engagement shortly.
I'll do no such thing.
History says you did. Not will do. Did. But you...
Yes. Yes, Laura. No, Laura, not... But, Laura...
Tell her now and get it over with.
You shut up. No, Laura, I didn't mean you. No. No, Laura, she's not here. No. She hung up.
Oh, wouldn't listen to you, huh? And that's your fiancée.
She wouldn't do that if I...
Is
Oh, Miss Carter. Now, we've been expecting you. Please come in.
all right, but just for a minute. No, Harry, you wait by the door, but stay close.
Now, Miss Amelia Carter, may I present...
Get that dame out of here.
Dame?
Please, now, this is hardly a way to start a lifetime.
Lifetime?
Yes, history says so. 50 years and still going when I left. Now, stop this hostility. You might as well save time, too, now. Now, start off with the first names. Amelia, this is Peter. Peter, be nice to Amelia. You really should be gracious, generous, anxious to create a good first impression.
Don't tell me how to behave.
Don't you blow a fuse, Grandpa. Grandpa! I am Peter Emil Manson III, your grandson. Note that the middle name is the masculine form of Amelia, your wife, my grandmother.
Grandmother?
Yes, indeed. Your son is my father.
But I'm not married yet.
Oh, but you will be. Now, Grandpa, you sit here.
Cut this grandpa stuff right now.
Well, I'm sorry, but I've been taught that it's impolite to call my grandparents by their given names. Of course, you don't look much like the old duffer that I know as Grandpa.
Oh,
now,
duffer,
calm down and you start making like romance. You know, you're not even engaged to Grandma yet.
Don't call me Grandma.
Pardon me, it is impertinent, but you are quite a dish. Now that I've seen you in your youth, I can understand why Grandpa threw over this Laura Phillips girl. I can hardly believe that you'll become that sweet little old lady.
Mr. Manson, what's he talking about?
He's a time traveler from the future who says he can prove that we met, got married, and...
Now, don't go any further.
I'm afraid he's right. He says it's history, and we can't change history, can we?
But I hardly know you.
Well, if you'd known each other, I wouldn't have to introduce you, would I?
Maybe somebody'd better explain this to me.
Ah, fine. Now we're off to a start. Highball, Grandmother?
Yeah, I think I need one.
Now a little more romantic setting. Soft lights now.
And now I'll leave you two to canoodle a bit. I've other things.
But Harry!
I'll take care of Harry. That'll be Laura. Run high. Do something. Oh, relax. I'll take care of everything. Of course, Peter Manson wasn't the only one having trouble with the little man who wasn't there. No, the future cannot be handled logically. It's logically impossible because it doesn't exist yet. And if it doesn't exist, then obviously it isn't logical. But it's going to exist, so, well, you see what I mean. Logic is just hopeless. I should ought to clobber you. Oh, now be reasonable, Harry. It wouldn't prove anything. But Amelia's my girl. Get over it, Harry. They're probably arranging their engagement right now.
You meddler.
I am not a meddler, Laura. I'm just an instrument of fate.
Fate? Poor Peter thrown to that blonde lion.
Oh, you stop calling my girl names, you hear? You're acting like a pair of spoiled children. Now stop it. I regret that you've lost your loves, but really no one ever actually died of unrequited love. Mine wasn't unrequited. Well, it might as well be once they're happily married.
Happily married?
Well, you wouldn't want them unhappy, would you?
No, I'd like a little happiness myself.
Well, so would we all. But stop and think. Now, if the number of human lives depended upon your giving up a love affair, would you go on selfishly and marry the man anyway?
Well, that's hardly fair.
Well, then I'll put it up to Harry. Harry, if your own life depended upon preventing a wrong marriage, would you stand by and let them go ahead? Make your own point. You're the meddler. All right. My life depends upon it. My father's life depends upon it. Unless Peter Manson and Amelia Carter marry, neither my father nor I can be born. Now, knowing this, I used my grandfather's time machine, came back to give a formal introduction. Now, you can't blame me for wanting to live, so I came back and I fixed it up.
Yes, you're a great little fixer-upper.
Maybe we should ought to fix you up and then go on as we please about it. You don't know much about time and history, do you? No, but I could make up a... You could not. You could not change a thing.
Why not?
If your father and mother had never met, could you have been born?
Oh, don't be utterly ridiculous.
Now, don't ever be scornful of stating a simple fact. I exist, therefore I am. Now, say it as you please. To you, Peter and Amelia will marry. To me, Peter and Amelia married 50 years ago. Now, the sensible thing to do is to accept the fact. Wipe it off the slate. Pick up the pieces and go on from there.
Such as?
Well, now, you're both very attractive people. You have a common bond of memory. Hey, my type.
Well, I've looked at better myself.
Oh, Gad, this is a primitive era. Tell folks what's best for them and they want to... What is the term, Harry? Clobber you. Yes, that's right. Clobber me. That's the best idea I've heard all night.
No, not here. Outside, where I can stop being a lady. Then I'll help you.
Well, you can beat me up, but you can't change something that's already happened. Now, can you?
Look, I've taken all I can. I'm going home.
Can I? That is a fine practical arrangement. Find sympathy in one another. It's the better thing to do. And maybe you'll find happiness with one another, too.
Can't we get out of this, Smith?
Well, if I cut my throat, I can't invent the time machine, and then he couldn't come back and mess up our lives by forcing me to marry you.
Ah, you'd rather commit suicide than marry me.
Oh, now, Amelia, stop it. That's not so.
Oh, so you'd rather marry me than commit suicide.
Stop the bawling and let me think.
Peter, do you think he'd go away from me to look like everything was running smooth?
What do you mean?
Well, suppose we stopped squabbling and complaining and made up to one another so he'd think we were happy and convinced that he's right. Maybe he'd be satisfied and go back where he came from. Then we could do as we please.
Won't work.
Why not?
That character is our grandson, Amelia. Already he knows what we're going to do.
Well, aren't you even willing to try?
I'll try, but it's futile. What did you have in mind?
Well, I just know he's coming back tonight. We could make it look as if we'd been getting acquainted.
Well, what have we been doing for the past couple of hours playing tiddly... Hey, let go, mind
that. Just looking me up a little. If we were really getting acquainted, you'd not look as if we'd been sitting with folded hands. Hey, stop that.
Well, if you really loved me, you wouldn't mind my mussing up your hairdo then.
All right. There. Now you look like we've been wrestling. Where's my bag?
What for?
Lipstick. You should have a few smears.
Well, with you looking like a magazine cover, lipstick is a two-way smear, right?
Oh, yeah. I suppose so.
You sound as though Harry was the only man you ever kissed.
If we ever get around to it, Peter Manson, you'll be the only man that's ever been kissed just because history said he had to be. So there? If I got it.
All right. Once for history.
Let's see you now.
You need more of the spread.
You need a touch right there.
Who's doing it?
There's one thing history didn't mention.
What, Peter?
History didn't say this could be fun.
Peter. It'd be funny, wouldn't it?
What could be funny?
This trick worked.
And then?
You and me found out after he'd gone that we really did like it.
Yeah. Yeah, wouldn't it?
Peter?
Yes?
Open up the door.
Yeah, so let him wait. Now remember to look flustered.
And try to wipe your face, too.
Well, I see everything's progressing fine.
All right, now, go away.
Oh, I'm not going to stay. I just wanted to see how things were getting along. I know when I'm not wanted.
Then why did you come here in the first place?
Well, you think you hate me for my interference, but you wait and remember. In 50 years, the pair of you will be sending me off in my time machine to do this job of fixing up. And you, Grandma...
Stop calling me Grandma!
Still my Grandma, and you'll tell me that you and Grandpa actually wasted your first kisses trying to fool me into leaving. So now I'll trot along, but I'll be back tomorrow. And don't you keep her out too late, Grandpa.
What'd you do with Harry?
Oh, I fixed that up fine. Harry volunteered to escort Grandpa's former girlfriend to her home.
Harry and Laura?
Laura with Harry?
Peter?
Yes, Amelia.
To heck with history. Kiss me once. For me?
Oh, for goodness sake, it's 3 o'clock.
I know what time it is.
But
what I want to know is what you're doing.
I'm trying to think.
Yes, you look as if you've got it all settled.
Oh, what can I do?
You might wash that blonde hussy's magenta lipstick off your silly face.
Now, Laura, I can explain.
I'm listening. Convince me that you got all smeared up without enjoying it. Come on, convince me.
You went home with Harry to be fresh, didn't you?
Well, I didn't see anyone around making me another offer.
But I was...
I know. Working like a little beaver making history come out right.
Well, what am I supposed to do? Bang my head against brick walls, tilt at windmills? Confound it, am I the only one around here with sense enough to know when I'm licked?
Well, you might not be so completely licked if Amelia Carter were as ugly as mud fence.
Well, it does make my defeat less difficult to bear.
Well, make it complete, then. Have this expanded to fit her pudgy little hand.
My ring. But, Laura...
Goodbye, Peter.
Wait, don't go.
What's to stay for? To be a maid of honor?
If you came to quarrel with me, you yourself are doing everything to prove Junior's point. If he were here, he'd be cheering you into hating me and using my telephone for calling Harry to take you home.
Look, I didn't come here to fight with you, Peter. I came here to fight for you. But you're not fighting.
Junior knows all the moves. No matter what I try, everything turns out his way.
It's like your experimental smooching session.
Yeah, that too. He was amused.
I'm not. May have started as a deliberate frame-up, but it certainly ended up ginger peachy for his little old program.
I tell you, he knows every move. He came back here just to tell Amelia and me that you had gone home with Harry.
And 50 years from now, you and Amelia will dodder over to his time machine and kiss your brat of a grandson goodbye as he goes off to make the introduction. That's the program, isn't it?
Well, what can we do?
Peter, you say everything's fixed and solid. It can't be changed.
Well, that's the way it is.
But let's just suppose that you could quietly unfix Junior's little apple cart.
Well, then we'd go on as if he never arrived.
Well, couldn't you?
I can't prevent what's already happened. He exists. He is. He's here in the flesh.
No. I suppose you can't change that, can you?
No.
Well, then, goodbye, Peter.
Wait a minute, Laura. What if Junior were a different kind of guy?
What do you mean?
Look, Laura, he's the grandson of Amelia and me, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I don't marry Amelia, he doesn't get born. He can't exist unless we follow every move right down to the last letter of the historic record he talks about, right?
Yes, but...
Let's assume that the future is not a firm and solid hunk of recorded history.
Well, everyone but you and Junior have been saying that all along, but you keep pointing at Junior's history book and saying no.
But suppose that Junior's history book is only one of many possible histories.
Then how do you explain his solid existence?
Floating a brick on water is not impossible. It's just extremely unlikely.
Oh, stop sounding like a mathematics professor, Peter. Get to this important point.
Until Junior arrived with his books and his papers to show me, us, how we were going to act, he was rather unlikely as a future probability.
Mm-hmm.
But once he convinces us and introduces me to Amelia,
Junior's existence becomes a very strong probability. In other words, he exists because he did the fixing that put history on the road that leads directly to him.
Well, you could rob a bank and get tossed in jail, and that would stop you from marrying anybody.
Well, we can't change things that drastically. But we might slip a little change in Junior's character.
How can we do that?
Suppose we could create another very strong future probability. Mightn't he come back and fight just as strong for his own existence?
But how can you do anything like that?
Laura, would you marry me right here and now?
Peter, at 3 o'clock in the morning? Peter, it's Junior again. Don't go. Oh, no.
Oh, good morning. I'm in time, I see. You come in. I was hoping you would arrive. I am the Reverend Peter Laurel Manson III. You'll notice that my middle name is the masculine form of the given name of my grandmother, Laura.
Peter, here is the other probability.
Precisely. Let's get along with it quickly before something else happens. Please, we must not be impatient. There must be witnesses. But I have prepared for everything. Everything. Will you permit me? Do come in. Oh, this is a most auspicious occasion.
Amelia!
And Harry, what are they doing here? People here appear to have forgotten that a man has 4 grandparents.
Well, I'm still a bit confused.
Oh, my dear, if I had not been prepared for this rare and happy occasion, I should be quite disturbed. It isn't often that a man has the opportunity of officiating at a double wedding ceremony uniting his grandparents. Can you make this stick? Yes. Now, unless I double-cross this double ceremony, now, Peter, take Laura's hand and stand away over here on my left. Now we all sort it out properly. Fine. History says that Peter and Laura will have a stalwart son. Harry and Amelia will have a fine daughter. Son and daughter are my own parents.
Are you sure?
I arrived a bit late, my dear, because I have been quite a busy man. I made a stopover on my trip through time, pausing long enough to unite in marriage your son with their daughter. It was a lovely wedding. Time goes by. Woman needs man, man must have his mate. Yet that doesn't mean you got to be stuck with any particular mate. There's freedom of choice there. See, the only way you can get rid of the little man who isn't there is to have a different little man not there. That takes care of it.
Presenting the transcription feature, Superman. Look at the sky. Look.
It's a bird.
It's a plane. It's Superman. And now, Superman, strange visitor from the planet Krypton, who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men, and who, disguised as Clark Kent, star reporter for a great metropolitan newspaper, fights a never-ending battle against crime and injustice. 300 miles out on the broad Atlantic, with Clark Kent and Jimmy Olsen aboard, the Clara M, last of the old clipper ships, moves southward on a round-the-world cruise. But what was planned as a pleasure trip has become a perilous mission, for many strange and unexplained things have occurred aboard the Clara M since it cleared port. In our last episode, following a series of adventures brought to a successful conclusion by Superman, we heard how the crew, led by a seaman named Limey, had decided to mutiny. Our scene is once again the forecastle of the Clara M, where the mutiny is about to take place. Listen. Now then, lads, you take your choice. You stays here on this haunted ship and let the whistler kill you all in turn, or you follow me. What'll it be?
I'm with you. I'll follow you, Laney. Aye, by golly, me too.
Oh, then come on. We'll take this ship and sail where we like. Follow me, lads. Follow me. Hold on, lads. Hold on. Quiet.
What's wrong, Laney? What's wrong, eh?
What's wrong? There's what's wrong. Sitting on the edge of that there bunk and smoking this clay pipe.
Eh? Oh, Scotty McTavish, eh?
Aye, Scotty McTavish. Here we are getting ready to take over this here ship, and what's he doing? Sitting there, puffing away on this clay pipe. What's the meaning of it, Scotty? Come on, men, speak up.
I've made up my mind I'll no join with you, Lamey.
Ah. And why not, I'd like to know.
I have no liking for mutiny, Lamey.
It's a foolhardy business.
Ah, so you don't like it, eh? Well, let me tell you something, Scotty. We're all in this together, see?
With the exception of myself.
Mind your own, Scotty. You're off your course.
It's the others of you that are off your course, not Scotty McTavish. Oh, have you a match, Limey? My pipe seems to be out.
Never mind your pipe. What's more important is, what are you going to do about this here mutiny?
Have I no told you, Limey? I'll no join with you. Ah, here's a match in my pocket.
Now, you listen to me, McTavish. Him as don't come with us is a traitor, see? And there's only one way to take care of traitors.
Put up your knife, Limey. It doesn't frighten me at all. Lads, listen to an old seafaring man that knows what he's about. It's a risky thing, mutiny, and I've yet to see the crew that didn't wind up in irons before they were done. Very well, I am well aware of what's going on aboard the Clara M. In the dark watches of the night, we've all of us heard the whistler piping his mysterious tunes. Some say it's a whistling sailorman come back from Davy Jones' locker to keep us company aboard. Aye, mayhap. But I say, what of it?
What of it? What of it, say them? I'll tell you what of it. When you're the whistler's a sign of bad luck. Oh, and we've had bad luck, ain't we? First we runs into a storm that batters us unmerciful. Then the captain is bad hurt. So bad hurt that the radio another ship to come and take him off.
I dinna ken what evil there is in asking help of a neighbouring vessel.
You dinna ken. Well, I'll tell you what evil there is in it. I stayed before and I'll stay again. We're all in the same boat. Every one of us is wanted by the authorities. What happens when that other ship proves alongside us, eh? One of the officers is bound to recognize some of us. Oh, and when he does, what happens? Investigation, that's what. Investigation. And after that, iron for every man jack of us.
And your plan is to take the Clara M before the other ship arrives.
Aye, take her and sail her off to some place where we can all be safe for the rest of our days.
Very well. But have none of you thought of the captain? He must have magical attention, and you'll only get it aboard that other ship, the San Jose. Now, would you deny him that?
That can't be helped.
It's murder you'd be about. Without proper care by a doctor, Captain Hawkins won't live to see another day. Oh, lads, you mun hearken to me. There's a surgeon aboard the San Jose, and it's our duty to see that the captain's taken aboard her. Mutiny, take this ship and sail her away, and you'll be responsible for her life. If you're caught, you'll swing for it.
We can't take the chance of being recognized, I'll say. We can't afford to let that other ship come alongside. The captain's life is ours. Now, it's like I say, lads. You take your choice. What will it be? Come on, are you with me? What about you, Scotty?
I haven't changed my mind, Limey. I'll just stay here, quiet like.
Oh, you'll stay. And you'll be quiet, all right. Irish, Swede, gag him in time to his bunk. Come on, lads.
No need to get rough, lads. I'll no resist you. Careful of my pipe, Cap.
All right, now put your arms behind your back, Scotty.
Have you no thought of what Pete Barnaby will say to this? It's his money we've all taken, and him we've promised to obey, you know. Oh, easy, lads, not too tight on the ropes.
Don't worry, you're going on about Pete Barnaby. We'll take care of him, too, if we have to. All right, you men, gag him.
Oh, well, there's no need for that, I'm thinking, lady. We could be yelling his head off, and there'd be nobody hearing him at all.
No, you're right. You'll be safe enough for a time. All right, lads, follow me on deck. Be quiet about it now. Come on, along with you here. All right, up this companionway now. Come along. Quiet now, lads. Quiet. Keep it down.
There, lady. It's almost dawn. Look there. There's very streaks along the horizon.
We've got to work fast. First thing to do is to settle with the ounces. We've got to be sure of him. We do. Come along. You there at the wheel. Stephen.
Limey, what's the meaning of this, man? What are you men doing up on deck with belaying pins in your hands?
Shut your mouth in this. We're taking the ship, that's what. Huh? Are you with us or aren't you?
Well, now, I don't know. It needs a bit of thinking.
There's no time for thinking. What's your answer? Speak up, come on.
But I tell you, Limey, I got to think.
Yeah, that's for him.
Oh, that's the best argument I know, Zev, a belaying pin. Now, Swede.
Yeah?
Take the rear and change course.
Yeah, Limey.
The St. Joseph's coming in from the east. Hard over to the west.
Aye, west it is.
All right, the rest of you follow me.
All right. Hey, Limey, what's to be done now?
There are 4 people on this ship that'll need taken care of. There's the mate, Pete Barnaby. There's reporter Clark Kent and the lad Jimmy Olsen. Captain Hawkins, though I doubt if he'll be giving us any trouble, sick as he is. Now, Idle, you take 2 men and go to the lad's cabin.
Right.
Taylor, you take 2 more and take care of Mr. Kent.
Okay.
The rest of us will concentrate on Barnaby and see to the sailing of the ship.
Yeah, but what's to be done with him?
The same like we did with Scotty. Tie him up and gag him if necessary. You decide what's to be done with him after we're safe away from here. But you ain't to argue with him, see? 1 peep out of him and you'll use as your belaying pins. Now, up to it. All of you up to it and do a good job all around. While the mutinous crew, headed by Limey, proceeds to take over the ship, in the forecastle, Scotty McTavish struggles with the ropes that bind him, making a valiant but hopeless effort to escape.
Gosh, they've bound me well. They have. The wrists and ankles are tied tight as tight can be. Oh, can I undo these knots? But I must do something or so. That's strange. Somebody knocking on the door. Come in.
Oh, Hey, what's happened, Mr. McTavish? You're tied down to your bunk. Where are all the men?
Wish Jimmy lad, there's time for talking later. But this very minute, untie these knots and release me.
Okay, I'll have you free in no time. What's happened, Mr. McTavish? Where are the rest of the men?
Laddie, the questions you do ask. Oh, very well, then I'll tell you. Lad, there's a mutiny afoot.
A mutiny?
Aye. Most of the men with Limey leading them has decided to take over the Clara M.
Golly.
And heaven help us all, they'll do it, too, if we didn't act sharp. But how come you to be here, lad? This very minute, Limey and the crew are bent on taking you prisoner.
I couldn't sleep. I thought I'd come down into the forecastle and have a talk with someone. You say the men are going to take everybody prisoner?
All of them as won't follow them in their plan to mutiny.
Mutiny?
Aye. And that means Mr. Kent and Barnaby and yourself and Captain Hawkins.
There. Your hands are untied, Mr. McTavish.
Good, laddie, good. Now for my feet. Come on.
Whatever we do, we'll have to work fast. The Kent and Barnaby must have been captured already.
Aye, and they'll be looking for you once they find out you're not in your cabin.
What do we do, Mr. McTavish?
I've been figuring on what to do, laddie, if I got myself free. And this is it.
Yes?
If they've captured the others, there's only 2 of us against the whole crew, do you see?
Yeah.
Now, what we'd best do is get to the radio room and send a message of distress to the San Jose. Tell them which way we're heading.
But how can we send it, sir? I don't know Morse code, and they must have taken care of the radio operator.
Aye, no doubt. But I know a little about Morse code. Enough at any rate to manage. There, now, my legs is free.
Good.
Let's get to the radio room as quick as we can.
Right with you, sir.
All right. Up the companionway here and soft, laddie, soft.
Mr. McTavish, listen.
Not only listen, laddie, but look as well. We've got Mr. Barnaby, and Stevens, the helmsman, and the radio operator.
Oh.
You see there? We've got them tied up and herded together.
Yeah.
The rest of them will be along with Mr. Kent any minute now.
Can we get to the radio room without being seen?
Well, we can try, laddie, we can try. We've got to cross that open space to the other companionway. Just now, easy does it. We'll just wait till they're not looking this way and... Well, laddie, now, come on. Laddie. Oh, that was a close one. Now then, up this companionway to the radio room. Quick, laddie, quick.
There's the radio room.
Aye, and unguarded, too. Oh, very confident, these boys. Very. Now then, if I can remember how to start the sending apparatus.
This switch here, Mr. McTavish.
Aye, I believe that is the one. Throw it over and we'll see what happens. Quick, laddie, come.
Okay, here goes.
Oh, aye, that's done it. She'll be warmed up any minute, and then we'll start sending our call of distress.
The San Jose will probably be the first to answer. She must be closer than any other ship.
Aye. Well, she must be warmed up by this time. Oh, let me think now. For the call of distress, I must try to get it straight in my head, oh.
You've got to, Mr. McTavish.
Wait. Now, if these old fingers of mine can still remember how to send it...
You're doing it, Mr. McTavish. You're doing it fine.
Aye, laddie, I am. Limey.
I've a gun, McTavish, and I know how to use it.
Huh?
Take your hand off that radio key. Take it off, I say, or you're a dead man. Limey means what he says. What will be the outcome of this new adventure aboard the Clara M? What would you do if you were in Jimmy's place? Be sure to tune in for the next thrilling episode of our story with Superman.
Tune in the next thrilling installment of the transcription feature, Superman.
Up in the sky, look!
It's a bird!
It's a plane! It's Superman!
Superman is a copyrighted feature appearing in Action Comics magazine. Presenting the transcription feature, Superman!
Up in the sky, look!
It's a bird!
It's a plane! It's Superman!
And now, Superman, strange visitor from the planet Krypton, who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men, and who, disguised as Clark Kent, star reporter for a great metropolitan newspaper, fights a never-ending battle against crime and injustice. Matters have taken a turn for the worse aboard the Clara M., last of the clipper ships, bound on a cruise round the world with Clark Kent and Jimmy Olsen aboard. In our last episode, we heard how the crew, led by a sailor named Limey, mutinied and took the ship over. One of the crew, however, Scotty McTavish, refused to join the others and was bound to his bunk. Jimmy, unable to sleep and in search of someone to talk to, came upon Scotty and released him. Together they made their way to the radio room, hoping to send a message of distress to the San Jose, a South American liner now steaming toward the Clara M to take off the badly injured captain. Scotty and Jimmy began to send a call of distress, and then... But wait. Listen.
You're doing it, Mr. McTavish. You're doing it fine.
Aye, laddie, I am.
What?
Limey.
I've a gun, McTavish, and I know how to use it. Take your hand off that radio, Kay. Take it off, I says. You're a dead man. So you was trying to send a message to the San Jose, eh?
Aye, trying, but not succeeding, I'm thinking.
The better for you. I swear, McTavish, the life of him what stands in me way is not worth tuppence. Now, you'll both come along with me.
Where are you taking us, Limey?
On deck. We've Barnaby and the radio man all tied up. There's no doubt you're precious Mr. Kent as well by this time. Now, come on, get moving.
Limey, I appeal to you again. You cannot do this thing, man.
I'm a doing of it, ain't I?
But the captain, Limey. Don't you know, man, the captain's a very sick man. Oh, you'd no kill the man by not letting him go aboard the San Jose.
It can't be done, and you know it. Now, listen, every man jack of this crew, even you, Scotty, is wanted by the maritime authorities for one reason and another. Some of us have stole, some of us has committed murder,
Gosh.
And our pictures have been pasted up in every dock office throughout the world. What happens, I ask you, when the San Jose comes alongside, eh? You recognize, that's what. Put an iron. We ain't going to be recognized, see? We're going to take this here ship and we're going to sail it to freedom, see?
I see.
And let me warn you... There now. Up this companionway to the deck. Come on.
Limey, man, one request.
Get along, you know.
You'll no be hard on the lad, will you? It was me that made him come with me to the radio room, and it was me that forced him to...
That isn't so, Mr. McTavish.
Now, laddie, quiet.
I'm grateful to you for trying to cover me, but, well, I can't let you do it. Limey, I was just as anxious to send that message of distress as Mr. McTavish was.
Oh?
I don't care whether you know it or not.
Slippy little beggar, ain't you? Like to run off at the mouth, don't you? Well, we may find a way of changing your mind, my lad. You'll sing a different tune before I'm done with you.
Looks like the entire crew is on deck, eh? I see Mr. Barnaby and the radio man, but I didn't see our Mr. Kent.
Huh? Blimey, that's peculiar. Irish! Where's Clark Kent?
Well, I'm thinking the man's a leprechaun, Limey. Will of the wisp, so to speak.
Speak plain, speak plain.
Really, he wasn't in his cabin, Limey. He's nowhere else to be found. Some of the lads are looking for him now.
He can't escape, Mr. McTavish.
I heard that. Don't you think for one moment he'd escape it? He must be aboard the Clara M somewhere, and we'll find him, never fear.
Perhaps we will, but we've got to discover where he may be at.
Not in this cabin, eh? Well, then, we'll just see. Come on, lads, follow me.
Not in my cabin is right, Limey. I'm up here in the crow's nest, if you want to know, as Superman. Lucky for me, I'd gone to Captain Hawkins' cabin to see how he was getting on, and was returning to my own cabin when I saw the beginning of this mutiny. Well, there's nothing to worry about now, Limey. Everyone's on deck, and off in the distance I can see the smoke from the San Jose. She'll be alongside in an hour or two. Wait a minute. Changed our course, haven't we? Well, we'll just have to change back again. Instead of sailing away from the San Jose, Mr. Helmsman, I'll see to it that you sail this ship toward her. Down! Down! You there! You at the wheel!
Oh, yumping Yemeni, I've been seeing things.
You won't be able to see anything if you don't do as I tell you. Hard over on that wheel, south by east, and quick about it.
Look, mister, I don't know where you come from or who you are, but you don't give me orders. I show you that.
No, I'll show you.
Oh, my arm. You must break it. Oh.
Hard over on that wheel.
Yeah, sure, like what you say.
And keep her there.
Oh, you think so, hey, mister? Well, me, I don't think so. The others, they see you now. Maybe you can twist my arm, but by golly, you cannot twist the arm of all them other fellas.
Yes, they've seen me, all right. And here they come, with Limey at their head. Something tells me Superman will have to hand them a little surprise.
What's coming off here? What's coming off? Hey, wait, you. Where'd you come from?
It's Superman. Mr. Barnaby, McTavish, look. Now do you believe me?
Why, that great horse fool, he looks like a Superman, but...
Superman, is he? We'll see about that. You in that fancy costume. I've got a gun, see?
Oh?
Now get away from that man at the wheel or I'll let you have it.
Fire away, Limey.
Think I won't, eh? Well, I'll change your mind. We've a bulletproof vest.
Paddington halibut. I've never seen nothing like it.
Bulletproof vest, that's what he's wearing. Well, you won't last long when the lads get through with you. Come on, lads, jump him. And don't take it too easy with him. All
right, step up, gentlemen, step up. I'm taking care of you. Oh, sorry, old man. Hit me with a belaying pin, would you? After all you've done is bet the pin. No, don't run off like that. Wait, here's something for you. Come on, boys, don't hold back. Step up, one and all. Limey, why are you hanging in the background? Come on, Limey, let's have a little fun together. Come on.
Stay away from me, or I'll shoot.
And what good will your bullets do?
I'll show you.
You see, Limey? Now I'll show you what I can do without bullets. That finishes Limey. Now, the rest of you men get below. Mr. Barnaby, this is your crew, or it was. Take charge here and try to do a better job of it.
Aye, sir.
And now,
Sir.
I'm off.
Superman, wait.
Up, and away!
He's gone.
Aye, lad. What a good thing for us he was nearby when this mutiny took place. So that's the fellow you call Superman, is it?
You bet, Mr. Barnaby. Now do you believe me?
Where'd he come from?
Nobody knows. He just appears when someone's in trouble.
Oh, I wouldn't have believed it if I hadn't seen it with my own two eyes.
A lot of strange things have been happening on this ship. But this ain't the time to stand around wondering about it. Come on, Scotty. Help me get some of these men up on their feet.
Aye, sir.
Come on.
Oh, Jimmy, lad, you'd better be thundering off to your bed.
Oh, okay. But first I've got to find Mr. Kent and tell him what happened. Good night, Mr. Barnaby. Good night, Scotty.
Good night.
An hour later, with the Clara M once more peacefully riding a soft swell, and the lookout perched from the crow's nest watching the approaching steamer, the San Jose, Teak Barnaby limps down a companionway and pauses at the door of Clark Kent's cabin.
Oh, hello, Barnaby.
You wanted to see me, Mr. Kent?
Yes, Barnaby, sit down.
Thank you, sir. I guess you want to talk to me about the mutiny that happened a few hours ago.
Yes, Jimmy told me all about it. I understand the San Jose has been sighted and should be alongside in an hour to take off Captain Hawkins. I'm going to have her escort us into Caracas.
Now, why would you be doing that, Mr. Kent?
So that we'll be sure of reaching land safely. We can't take a chance with a rebellious crew, Barnaby. It's my intention, and I'm sure you'll agree with this, to have those men arrested.
Well, now, Mr. Kent, ordinarily I'd agree with you. But, under the circumstances, I don't see how I can.
What do you mean, under the circumstances?
Well, for one thing, this wasn't actually no mutiny at all. The men were scared, Mr. Kent. Scared because they claimed they heard the whistler aboard ship. That's all it was.
Whatever their reason, Barnaby, they attempted to take this ship, and that's mutiny.
Aye, Mr. Kent, but, well, I'm a seafaring man and you're not, and maybe I understand these things better than you. Now, this crew of ours, they're fine men, Mr. Kent, fine men. It's just that this whistler business, hearing that so-called spirit whistling in the night, got on their nerves. I guess you'd say as how they didn't know what was going on for a time there. All they knew was they wanted to turn the ship for home and get back to land as quick as possible.
Well, they still want to get back, don't they?
No, sir, Mr. Kent, they don't. I've talked to them. I've taken the liberty of telling them that I'm their new master.
I see.
Now, all I'm asking is this. Keep on with this here around-the-world cruise. Forget the men ever tried to take the ship. I promise you, I'll keep them in hand from now on.
I don't know, Barnaby.
Now, believe me, sir, I know what I'm talking about. If the San Jose escorts us into Caracas, there'll be an investigation. You and young Jimmy And all the rest of us will spend the next 6 months in Caracas waiting for this case to come to trial. All because the lad was a little foolhardy.
Well, all right, Barnaby. I'll do as you suggest.
Thank you, sir. I'll be getting up on deck to make ready for the San Jose. She'll be coming alongside soon.
Right. I'm not the fool you think I am, Barnaby. You're after something yourself. I wonder what it is. Well, one way of finding out is to let you think you're having things your own way. When the right time comes, I can always step in.
As Superman.
Clark Kent is right, of course. Teak Barnaby, who, as you remember, tried to buy the Clara M from Editor White, is certainly after something aboard the old clipper ship. But what can it be? Have you any idea? Be sure to hear the next episode for further developments of our mysterious adventure with Superman.
Tune in the next thrilling installment of the transcription feature, Superman.
Up in the sky, look! It's a bird!
It's a plane! It's Superman! Superman is a copyrighted feature appearing in Action Comics magazine.
Kellogg's Pep, the build-up wheat cereal, invites you to rocket into the future with Tom Corbett, Space Cadet. Stand by to raise shift. Blast off minus 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Roaring rockets blast off to distant planets and far-flung stars, we take you to the age of the conquest of space with Tom Corbett, Space Cadet. A great time capsule has been lowered into the ground at the Venus Interplanetary Exposition. It contains the story of man's march through space and records of industrial, cultural, and scientific progress, all meant for the information of humanity in future ages. But Eddie Morgan and Bill Rice find that a precious secret has also been accidentally put into the capsule, and they succeed in getting to the capsule and stealing the vital information. Now, at Space Academy, cadets Tom Corbett and Roger Manning wait for Captain Strong to return from a high-level conference with Commander Arkwright.
Sit down, Roger, or by the craters of Luna, I'll blast you down.
Let me alone, Junior. For letting those crooks slip through our fingers, we deserve a good, hard, jet-propelled kick.
I know how you feel, Roger, but we were pretty lucky to get out of that shaft at all.
Sure, which doesn't change the fact that there's a couple of jokers running around loose somewhere in the universe with the master formula for operating all energy locks. And we let them get away with it. We, Tom.
Stop feeling sorry for yourself, Manning.
Captain Strong.
Hello, boys. If it'll help, Commander Arkwright wants me to thank you.
He does?
Yes, Manning, if you two hadn't become suspicious of that phony space ride concession and found the shaft dug to the capsule, we'd never have known anything.
You know, that's right. Come to think of it, we were pretty keen.
Careful, Roger. You'll break your arm.
Huh?
Patting yourself so hard on the back.
I'm just agreeing with Commander Arkwright.
Oh, just the same. We should have been...
Hold it, boys. This is no time for a squabble.
Oh, sorry, sir. Has a general alarm gone out? To pick up Morgan and Rice, I mean.
No, and I don't expect one will. You've got to realize what a panic that'd cause. Every bank vault, the safes on all rocket ships, every secret of the Solar Alliance is protected by energy lock.
That's why I think you'd want to...
Put them all on guard? No. Certainly not before we know more about Rice and Morgan's whereabouts. And as a matter of fact, they may not even be able to understand the formula they stole from the capsule. At least that's what we're hoping.
You're being called on the teleceiver, sir.
I'll take it, Corbett. Captain Strong here. Oh, yes, Lieutenant Wolchek. What? You have? I see. 500,000, huh? Take this order, Lieutenant. Plan F is in force. Group 8, Squadron 9. Have you got that? Good. We'll blast off immediately.
Plan F, sir? And that must mean bad news.
It certainly does, Corbett. A passenger ship on its way to Mars has just been pirated of 500,000 credits.
Oh, brother, that means Morgan and Rice have gone to work.
Exactly, Manning. The thieves went through the energy lock as though it was space dust.
Sir, are we going to get a crack at those two?
Not only you, but the whole Solar Guard.
What kind of a ship have they got, anyway?
They seem to be using the same chemical fuel job they were using here at the exposition. At least it fits the description of the pirate rocket.
That old beat-up hulk, the Nancy Adams?
They won't get very far in that.
Maybe not, but we're not taking no chances. Rocket cruiser Orion is on patrol in Sector 12, Chart M. She's been ordered to move in. Squadron 9 is getting ready now, and we'll be blasting off with it, just as soon as we can get to Venusport.
What'd I tell you, Rice? Just like tackling a can of sardines.
A full-size spaceport. And we opened it up like that and took their credits easy as rolling off a log.
Yeah. Will you ever forget the look on the skipper's face when that vault door swung open? And this is just the beginning, Rice. The first job. Don't forget the payroll for the miners on Titan. 5 million credits.
Something on the radar. Let me take a look.
Hey, Eddie, come quick. What's the matter? Running into a little space junk?
Yeah, if that's what you want to call a Solar Guard heavy cruising.
Huh? Let me see that. Good. Fine, big ship.
Are you crazy? They must be looking for us.
Which makes things even. I've been looking for them.
What?
Listen, Dopey. You didn't think we were going to be able to operate in this tin can much longer.
What's the matter with the Nancy Adams?
What isn't? No, sir, Rice. We need a new ship, a fast ship.
We could buy one with all the money we got.
I want the best. That means a Solar Guard cruiser.
You must be out of your mind. How can we?
I got plans. Now listen to me and do as I...
Attention, Space Raider Nancy Adams. Stand by for inspection. This is rocket cruiser Orion of the Solar Guard. Stand by for inspection.
Inspection? That means they'll come aboard, find the credits.
Let them come. They'll find nothing. Not the credits, not even us.
I don't get it.
Put on a spacesuit. Quick.
Attention, Nancy Adams. We are ordering you to stand by.
For gosh sakes, Morgan.
I'm telling you, and don't worry. Get on the spacesuit while I answer.
Okay.
Space Freighter Nancy Adams to Solar Guard cruiser Orion. We hear you. We are standing by for inspection. We may couple airlocks at will. Now let them come aboard. They can have the Nancy Adams. We'll take over the Orion.
I'm going crazy trying to figure out how...
Don't strain that lame brain of yours, Rice. Just follow orders. And by the time we're through, we'll be the first pirates in history to go blasting through space in a Solar Guard cruiser.
We'll return to the exciting adventures of Tom Corbett and the Space Cadets in just a moment, so stand by.
Spaceman, I'd like you to hear a special on-the-scene recording I made the other day when I inspected the space liner Nebula prior to the cosmic space line. I'll start the recording now. Spaceman, I'm proceeding down the galley-way of the Nebula. That muffled noise you hear in the background comes from the radiomagnetic conveyor belt that is taking me toward the main dining room. Here we are in the main dining room of the Nebula. Hold on, what's this? Well, I'll push the button and see. Well, what do you know? It's the button for the breakfast chimes. Oh, and here's the breakfast menu. Say, let's see what they have for breakfast on the Nebula. Well, Spaceman, here it is in big, bright lettering. For breakfast, the Nebula serves Kellogg's Pep. You know, that's no surprise, because Kellogg's Pep is the spaceman's breakfast. We all know how Pep is the build-up wheat cereal that gives you lots of hard-hitting food energy. Pep has essential vitamins that help you grow up with strong bones and healthy muscles. And Pep tastes so delicious. You eat one spoonful of Pep, and you'll agree that there's nothing so swell-tasting as Pep's whole wheat and malt flavor. So, Spaceman, when the breakfast chimes sound in your house, join in with the passengers on the Nebula and all the cadets at Space Academy. Eat the spaceman's breakfast, Kellogg's Pep.
When Morgan Morgan and Rice pirate a passenger ship en route from Mars to Venusport, taking more than 500,000 credits. They are spotted by the rocket cruiser Orion, which flashes word back to Solar Guard headquarters. Captain Strong, commanding a squadron of rocket destroyers, blasts off immediately, and with Tom and Roger is now nearing the Orion's last reported position.
Radar bridge control deck, Captain Strong.
Yes, Manning, what is it?
I picked up the Orion, sir, but there's no sign of the Nancy Adams.
Good enough. Relay the radar to our control deck scanner.
Here she comes.
That's the Orion, all right. Well, they ought to know what's become of Morgan and Rice. Let's talk to them. Attention, Orion. Attention. This is Captain Strong calling the Orion. Come in, please. Attention, Orion. Come in. Captain Strong to Orion. Come in.
Well, that's strange. They're not answering. Skipper, look at the scanner. The Orion's blasting away from us.
Captain, get a load of that. She's heading full space speed in the wrong direction.
Yes, Manning, we see. And we're just as puzzled as you are. Whatever you do, keep her on your screen.
I'll try it. Uh-oh. Message coming in just a second, sir.
Of all the space-happy setups, first no sign of the Nancy Adams. Then the Orion acts as though everybody on board is oxygen drunk.
Here's that message, sir. It's from the rocket destroyer TCJ 205 Squadron 9. They picked up the Nancy Adams, and what do you think they found aboard?
Manning, this is no time for guessing games.
All right, sir, but hold on to your space helmet. On that old tub was the crew of the Orion.
What? Well, you must have it wrong.
No, sir. Here's the whole message. To Captain Strong, sighted, boarded freighter Nancy Adams. Found crew of cruiser Orion aboard, with automatic flight and communications equipment smashed. All hands secure. Signed, Lieutenant Walchak.
By the rings of Saturn.
Captain, maybe it's a phony message.
No. Well, that explains why the Orion blasted away from us. Somehow, Morgan and Rice have managed to get control of that cruiser after fixing their own ship so it wouldn't operate.
I've got Walchak back. Any instructions, Captain?
I'll speak directly, Manning. Attention all rocket destroyers, Squadron 9. Our target is Cruiser Orion, Sector 12, Chart M. Prepare for maneuver Z for Zebra. Z for Zebra. Ready all ships for battle.
Better take this baby off the automatic control first. Looks like we got a fight in our hands.
Attention, Orion. Attention, Orion. Stand by for boarding. You have 30 seconds to stand by for boarding or we'll open fire. This is your first and last warning.
You hear that, Morgan? They're gonna blast it. I'll try. My guns have twice the range of theirs, and my brains are 10 times better. Stand by to maneuver, Rice. Stand by to knock a destroyer squadron right out of space.
Captain Strong, the Orion's altering course.
Skipper, the Orion's getting in position to fire. She's countering Army over Zebra with K for Katie.
Get this message to all ships immediately, Manning.
Yes, sir.
To all ships, Squadron 9, execute maneuver X for X-ray. X for X-ray, immediately.
What's happened, sir?
Corbett, I just realized. Morgan and Rice have access to the Solar Guard code book aboard the Orion. So every time I order a maneuver, they know what we're going to do.
But that means they can counter every move.
Exactly. They're always a step ahead of us, and always will be as long as we work as a squadron.
But, Captain, then why did you order X for X-ray?
X means every ship works on its own ideas. It means a knockdown, drag-out fight where somebody always gets hurt. But we've got to take Morgan and Rice. With a rocket cruiser in their hands, they can terrorize the entire solar system, robbing, looting, and with our code book, they'll be on to every move we make.
Just received acknowledgement of maneuver X from all ships, sir.
Right. Thanks, Manning.
Skipper, the radar told our ships they've been hit. Blasted into space junk.
I tell you, this artillery is just what I needed. 2 bolts from the blasters. 2 big splashes of light. What do you think of the Solar Guards now, Rice?
I gotta hand it to you, Morgan. You're a big man.
And this is only the beginning. With the energy lock formula, this rocket cruiser, and the Guards' code book, we're going to tear the solar system apart.
I don't care what happens to the system so long as we get credits.
Right. Now, we start nice and easy. Stick to the small stuff for a while. Space yachts around Venusport. Passenger rockets out of New Chicago. Then, when we've thrown the Solar Guard off balance,
we pull the 5 million credit job. Morgan, if we take that minus payroll, we can retire, live like king, or even better, like the greatest pirates in history. Rice, get a spray gun full of paint. Huh? I want you to paint our emblem on the Orion's hull. Our emblem? Yeah, the pirate signature. A skull and crossbones.
Here's another report on Morgan and Rice, sir. Took another passenger ship between Luna City and Venusport.
Same methods?
Yes, sir. Fired a blaster at the communications antenna, and then Rice from the Orion covered Morgan while he boarded the ship and opened the energy lock.
How much this time?
Nearly 300,000.
And we can't seem to get within 100,000 miles of them. The finest equipment in the Solar Alliance goes into those heavy cruisers.
Any ideas where they might be hiding, sir?
Anywhere. From the gray zone of Mercury to the moons of Jupiter. And we can't check every piece of space junk in the system.
Just got the new code from cryptography section, Captain Strong. I'd like to see Morgan use this. It's based
Never
on...
mind what it's based on, Manning. That's supposed to be a secret.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry, sir. A new code for the Solar Guard, Captain?
The first step in taking away Morgan's information.
Yeah, especially with that big shipment going to the miners on Titan.
A special code for the Titan payroll.
That's right. We can't take chances with 5 million credits. Or do you think we ought to?
Well, sir, saving the payroll won't trap Morgan and Rice. But if we used it as bait...
Bait?
Yes. Suppose we send a message to Titan that we're going to try to fool the pirates. That the payroll's going on board an old beat-up freighter. And send it in the old code.
Morgan will try to intercept the freighter.
We'll make sure he does. In our message, let's say the freighter will be in a certain quadrant at a certain time.
And around that quadrant, we'll have a whole Solar Guard task force ready to converge on that spot. Is that it, Corbett?
Yes, sir. The thing that's been giving us so much trouble is the fact that Morgan has our code. But that's the very thing that can bring him into our trap. Look at him, Roger. Every Solar Guard ship available has been assigned to this mission.
Yeah, I never saw so many destroyers and cruisers. By the rings of Saturn, Morgan and Rice better head for another galaxy.
Here you are, boys.
The Polaris is all set, sir.
We're not taking the Polaris.
We're not taking... Well, why not, sir?
Commander Arkwright has placed me in command of the fleet. If you want to come along on the flagship, fine.
You mean just stand around and watch?
Want a little action, Manning?
Yes, sir.
How about you, Corbett?
I feel the same way, Captain.
Well, the decoy ship, the freighter, will have to be piloted by someone, and...
We volunteer.
I'll say.
Boys, I won't pretend I'm not happy. But you ought to know what you're getting into. You'll be decoys, operating under sealed orders, observing complete communication silence.
That'll mean less work, Skipper, which is the way I like it.
You won't be able to call for help, whatever happens.
Believe me, sir, if anyone calls for help after we meet those pirates, it isn't going to be Corbett and Manning.
You said it, Junior. Captain, hand over those sealed orders.
We'll return to the exciting adventures of Tom Corbett and the Space Cadets in just a moment. So stand by.
Spaceman, my name is Cadet Montgomery. Here in my hand I have a pair of official space goggles. They're just like the kind you can get from Space Academy Supply Headquarters. I wouldn't go out into space without my pair for all the uranium in Jupiter. You see, these space goggles once saved my life. It happened a couple of months ago. I was at the controls of a rocket cruiser when I had to change course and head into the glaring sun. For a moment I was blinded. I couldn't see. And then I put on my space goggles. It was a lucky thing I thought of them, because all of a sudden I saw a Martian space freighter blast out of nowhere and swing across my path. We were headed on a collision course. The Martian pilot, blinded by the sun, couldn't see me. I had to act fast. I called for emergency speed and gave the rudder controls all they had. It was going to be close. But we made it. Thanks to my space goggles, I'd seen that Martian just in time. Spaceman, if I hadn't been wearing my goggles, I'd be space dust now.
Thanks for your story, Cadet Montgomery. And now, Spaceman, here's what you do to get your pair of space goggles. Pay close attention because I'm going to give these instructions just once. Ready? Send one box top from Kellogg's Pep, 25 cents, and your name and address. Send to Kellogg's, Box 346. Box 346, Battle Creek, Michigan. Send for your space goggles today, and tomorrow morning, eat a spaceman's breakfast. Eat Kellogg's Pep.
quiet trap has been set for the pirate Morgan and his accomplice. And at the very center, serving as bait, is an old freighter being flown through space by Tom Corbett and Roger Manning. And now, as they wait for the ruthless man to strike...
See anything, Roger?
Not a thing, Tom.
4 hours now. Maybe Morgan's wise.
I don't see how he could be. Hey, what are you doing?
Reading the orders again. Proceed to Space Quadrant 17, Sector 9, Chart R. That's it, nothing else.
So now we play sitting duck for Morgan. Why don't those guys come on?
Hold on to your space helmet, Roger. I think we've got company.
Where?
There, on the radar scanner. Is that a ship or a piece of space junk?
That space junk, it's got rockets.
Keep your fingers crossed, Roger.
It's the Orion, all right. I can see her through the viewport now.
Complete with skull and cross.
Hey, he's blasting us.
Trying to smash the communications antenna as usual.
Then his next step would be to...
Space Freighter in Sector 9. You are in my sights. Stand by for boarding. Attempt no resistance when I couple airlocks. Attempt no resistance if you value your life.
I wonder if they'll recognize it.
Very wise of you to take it so calmly, gentlemen. And now... Why, you're Manning and Corbett.
And the game is up, Morgan. You walked into a trap.
What? I don't believe it. You're bluffing.
Morgan, the fleet. The director said on the whole solar guard fleet there. They're trapping us. We gotta get away fast.
Hold on, you idiot. I'm coming. Just let me blast these two space punks to the west.
I can't wait for you. I'm getting out of here.
Rice! Rice, you run out of me and I'll get...
Too late, Morgan. He's gone. Ripped the airlock apart.
But he's not going very far. Look at the radar scanner. Here comes the fleet. Must be 100 of them.
Where?
Rice has opened fire.
So is the fleet.
He's doubling back this way.
They're still firing. We'll get hit. Watch out!
My eyes! I can't see! I'm blind!
Roger. Are you all right? Yeah. The explosion knocked out our lights. He thinks he's blind. I'll watch him just the same. He's got a ray gun. Maybe he's bluffing.
Somebody speak! I can't see!
Where is he? By the control panel. You remember the old game of turkey gobbler? You mean make a noise and then hide? Yeah, you go to the left and I'll circle to the right.
Please say something! I can't see!
Now be careful.
Have pity on me, will you? I'm blind! I'll throw away my ray gun! I'll at least say something!
He's got two, Tom. He's bluffing. Yeah, I know. Come on, let's go. Okay.
Hey, you stuck Space 8. Here I am. Not there. Here, Morgan. Now, over here, Morgan.
I'll get you, you young punks. You can't outfox me.
Well, get me here, Morgan. You're pulling to the left. Try again.
Playing games with me, huh? Well, you can't.
Missed again.
I'll get you. So the guy's gonna trap me, huh? Well, I'm more than a pirate. You can't get me.
Hey, Roger. How many was that? 9 blasts. Must be low on power. Come on. Let's roll.
He's out cold.
Get some emergency lights on, Roger. I want to take a look at this guy unarmed.
There.
Manning! Corbett, where are you?
Up here, Skipper, on the control deck.
Oh, I've been worried. The blast had knocked out the Orion. Some of it's still over on the freighter.
Good thing, too. It knocked our lights out and saved our lives. And then we kept Morgan shooting till his ray gun ran out of power.
Where is that space rat, anyway? Well, I'll be. Sleeping like a baby.
Oh, well, I guess I did hit him pretty hard, sir.
You hit him?
Of course I did, Junior. Not that you didn't help. I don't want to hog all the credit.
Well, of all...
Hold it, boys, hold it. This man learned the most guarded secret in the entire universe. Captured a Solar Guard cruiser and stole more money than any pirate in history. There's plenty of credit for both of you.
Oh, we know, sir. It's not that.
Boys, couldn't we say that you both hit him equally hard?
Why? Well, I guess so. Sure, I'm willing. But I hit him first.
Don't miss the next action-packed adventure of Tom Corbett and the Space Cadets on Tuesday, when they fly the largest passenger rocket in the universe to Venus, but find themselves on a round trip to disaster. Tune in, same time, same station on Tuesday for the next thrilling interplanetary adventure with Tom Corbett.
Brought to you by Kellogg's Pep, the build-up wheat cereal.
Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, starring Frankie Thomas, can also be seen on television and appears in the comic sections of many of America's leading newspapers. Look for it daily and in weekend editions. Featured in today's cast were Jan Merlin, Edward Bryce, and Ivor Francis. Today's program was written by Richard Jessup, directed by Drex Hines. Jackson Beck speaking.
Kellogg's Raisin Bran. Raisins and bran flakes, too. They're out of this world. They're out of one package. Kellogg's Raisin Bran. Kellogg's raisins are honeycomb coated to keep them tender. The bran flakes crisper. Kellogg's Raisin Bran. Raisins and bran flakes, too. They're out of this world. They're out of one package. Kellogg's Raisin Bran. Eat Kellogg's Raisin Bran. Eat Kellogg's Raisin Bran. Eat Kellogg's.
Tired of the everyday routine? Ever dream of a life of romantic adventure? Want to get away from it all?
We offer you Escape. Escape, designed to free you from the four walls of today for a half hour of high adventure. Escape, brought to you by your Richfield gasoline dealer and the Richfield Oil Corporation of New York, marketers of Richfield gasolines, motor oils, and other petroleum products. Look for the Richfield Eagle on the cream and blue pumps.
Tonight, we escape to a gigantic rocket ship about to be shocked into space on man's first voyage to Mars. As Ray Bradbury tells it in his famous science fiction story, Mars is heaven.
Project is magnificent, overwhelming, and tremendous. We return you now to the scene of the takeoff in the desert of New Mexico. Go ahead, New Mexico.
Thank you, London. This is Stuart Novins back in New Mexico. I'm standing here on the great steel observation platform overlooking the takeoff stand. As the moment for departure draws nearer, the whole area has been flooded with artificial light. It bathes the spaceship in a kind of silver luminescence, and surrounding it, engulfing it, this subdued hysteria of hundreds of thousands of people come to see the start of this incredible voyage of 18 men in the rocket ship The Venture. It's standing there pointing upward, pointing toward the heavens, and in a few minutes it will bloom out into great flowers of heat and color, shocked into space on man's first voyage to Mars. As you know, ladies and gentlemen, prayers are being said for these 18 men and their ship, the first men, the first ship to dare the voyage to another planet. Prayers are being said by every creed in mosques and churches and synagogues the world over. We take you now to the Basilica of St. Paul's in Rome. This is New Mexico again. We're sorry to cut in, but that roar you're hearing, the roar of the crowd, it's the moment we've been waiting for. I can see the crew of the Venture walking up the catwalk that leads to the spaceship. The men are entering, and now the escape hatch is closed. Now the men are in the ship. This silence, this great, awful silence of the crowd, it's the voiceless prayer that's in every heart. They're about ready now. Some lights from the ship just blinked on and off. It's a signal. In just a few seconds, a few more. Stand by. Stand by. They're gone. The Venture. It's out of sight.
Log entry, U.S. rocket ship Venture. 1 hour out from Earth. Destination Mars. Past Keneally Heaviside layer without incident. Rate of speed, 450,000 miles per hour. With planet Mars at its closest point to Earth, 35 million miles. Calculate duration of voyage to be roughly 3.5 days. Captain John Black, master. Log entry, U.S. rocket ship The Venture. 12 hours out from Earth. While navigating super-tensioned atmospheric forces, port shield generator broke down. Replaced by booster. Yes?
Lieutenant Lustig reporting, sir.
Come in, Pete.
Have a report on the trajectory, sir?
I'll put it on my desk. Pete?
Yes, sir.
How do you feel?
Feel? Huh. Just wonderful, sir. Sitting up there in an observation turret, I don't know just how to say it. The sights, I mean. Moon so close and Earth looking like... And Mars, sir. Sir? Do you really think we'll make it?
Who is it?
Dr. Hingston, Captain. May I come in?
Sure, Sam.
You want to sleep, were you, John?
Oh, no, Sam. Just sitting here thinking.
Well, don't think about it too much. Sleep instead. You need all the sleep you can get.
Who sleeps? Who sleeps and has no way of knowing what's waiting for him? Look at it through the porthole, Sam. Mars. How would you describe it, that glittering blob of red?
That's good enough.
Will it consume us? Spew our dust out into space? Maybe it's the Elysian fields, all charm and sweetness and moonlight shining on the restless dead. Which will it be, Sam?
I don't know. All I know is that they told me I was an expert in space medicine. At Randolph Field on a plot of ground called Texas, they told me that. That's all I know.
What are you doing up? You're supposed to be in the sack.
Well, I'll tell you, Captain. Sometimes a man can't sleep. That happens to me sometimes. So I just wander through the ship, check on the boys, see that they're tucked in properly.
That's what you were doing with me, huh?
No. I just...
What made them do it, Sam? What made them volunteer?
Man keeps looking for something. There are no new frontiers now, only new worlds. And there'll always be men who want to conquer them.
Log entry, U.S. rocket ship Venture. 78 hours out from Earth. Approaching gravitational field of Mars. Atmospheric conditions similar to Earth's. Log entry, U.S. rocket ship Venture. 79 hours out from Earth. Have this moment landed on Mars at 1700 hours. We made it. Chemical analysis indicated on ship's instruments shows air to be breathable and will sustain human life. Gravity comparable with that of Earth's.
Ready, John?
Yes. How the men in sick bay, Sam?
Happy? They're all right, John. You ready?
First one thing. Captain to crew, your attention. We have landed on Mars. No man is to leave this ship under penalty of court-martial. Dr. Hingston and I will make a brief reconnaissance. Crew will proceed with repair of ship's hull. As you know, our ship is armed against any possible aggression. I can't impress it upon you too strongly. No man will leave this ship until Dr. Hingston and I ascertain that we are not in a hostile world. That is all. Let's go, Sam.
You first, Captain. Your Honor. You, the first man from Earth to walk on Mars.
This grass, it's a well-kept lawn.
John, look over there. A house. A Victorian house. Colored glass and scrolls and everything.
I don't believe it. Come on. Sam, look at these. 2 iron deer on this lawn. We had a pair of these when I was a kid. Sam, did you hear that? That piano from that house. Sam, this isn't Mars. It can't be. It just can't be.
It can't be, John, but it is.
Welcome to Mars.
Perhaps you know that skilled research scientists have worked for many years to develop new high-octane components for gasoline. Components to give your car higher anti-knock performance and greater power. But do you know that from this research has come xylene? Xylene, one of the highest octane components in gasoline history. Now, listen. Today, every gallon of the famous Richfield gasoline contains xylene. Xylene in Richfield gasoline helps give your car new, lively pickup, new high anti-knock power, and new gasoline economy. Furthermore, there are 2 great Richfield gasolines with xylene. That means you can select the right Richfield gasoline to give your particular car the finest performance at lowest cost per mile. Richfield high-octane gasoline at regular price is specially refined for the average motor. Richfield Ethyl at its best, meets the requirements of the newest motors of the highest compression. And remember, both Richfield gasolines contain xylene. Stop where you see the Richfield Eagle on the cream and blue pumps. Get famous Richfield gasoline with xylene. And now we return you to Escape. What did I say, Sam? Somewhere back there in space? That Mars was the Elysian fields, all sweetness and charm.
No, John, it isn't that. It's what you see. A world like ours on Earth.
And this?
A small town with good air in it. A small town like the one I was born in. Same smell of flowers, the same sound.
You think that the civilizations of 2 planets can progress at the same rate, develop in the same way?
I do now.
Well, I don't. Well, look at that house. A Victorian house on Mars? You expect me to believe that? A house with lace-curtained windows, with port swings, with something that sounds like a piano and probably is a piano, playing beautiful Ohio. You believe all that?
I believe it. I admit it's strange, but I believe it.
Strange nuts. It's impossible. We're going back to the ship.
Wait, John. It could be. It could be that there are similar patterns of thought, movement, civilization on every planet in our system. Maybe we're on the threshold of the great psychological and metaphysical discovery of our time. Maybe we...
Well, go on, Sam.
Maybe this proves the existence of God.
Not everyone needs proof.
I don't. But how else can you explain all this? Johnny, it fills me with terror and joy. I don't know whether to laugh or cry.
I admit it looks peaceful and cool. Pretty much like Council Bluffs, where I was born. That was a good, quiet place, Council Bluffs, Iowa. Do you see that, Sam? Do you hear it?
I see it and hear it. It's there. A horse and carriage going down the street.
Just suppose that by accident or something, we landed on a planet in space in another time. Suppose that this is Earth, 30 or 50 years ago. Maybe we got lost in the dimensions. What do you think, Sam?
So much like my hometown. That house. That room up there with the beaded lamp near the window. When I was a kid, I used to sleep and do my lessons in a room just like that. I'd lie there in the night, and I'd be awake, and I could hear the freight trains across the river, and... John, do you hear that?
I hear. Let's go.
Where?
We're going up to that house and ask questions. Where else? Come on.
Yes, can I help you?
I beg your pardon, but we want...
If you're selling something, I'm much too busy and I haven't time. We're all at supper.
Oh, wait, don't go. What town is this?
What do you mean, what town is this? How could you be in a town and not know what town it was?
Oh, I beg your pardon, but we're strangers here. We're from Earth. And we want to know how this town got here, how you got here.
Are you census taker?
No.
Well, what do you want, then?
How long has this town been here?
It was built in 1868. Is this a game?
Oh, no, not a game. Look, try to understand. We're from Earth.
From where?
From Earth.
Where's that?
The Earth? What?
Out of the ground, you mean?
No, from the planet Earth. Come out on the porch, please, and I'll show you.
No, I won't come out there. You're evidently quite mad from the sun.
Let me try, John. Lady, we came in a flying ship across space among the stars. We came from the third planet from the sun, Earth, to this planet, which is Mars. Now, do you understand?
You're touched from the sun, too. Go away now before I call my husband from his supper. He'll beat you up. That's what he'll do.
But this is Mars, isn't it?
This is Green Lake, Ohio, on the continent of America, surrounded by the Pacific and Atlantic Oceans on a place called the world, or sometimes the Earth. Go away now. Go away.
Let's take a walk, Sam.
Yeah.
Sam?
Yeah?
There's something going on here. Something we don't understand. I want you to go back to the ship. If anything out of the way happens, lift the ship and get out.
But, John...
That's an order, Sam.
All right, if it's an order. John, look. Look at that woman walking toward us.
Oh, what about her?
Well, she looks like...
Sam! Oh, Sam, you look fine, so grown up. Sam, don't you know me? It's your grandma, your old grandma.
Grandmother?
What's wrong, Sam? This is a happy meeting. And who is this friend of yours?
This is Captain John Black. John, this is my grandmother.
Grandmother?
So help me. So help me, John. This is my grandmother. She's dead. Died 30 years ago. But this is my grandmother.
Well, there's no sense standing here on the street. You just come along to my house. We've so much to talk about. You too, Captain. And your friend of my grandson's is mine, too. Now, don't stand there with your mouths open. Come on. Here, Sam, have some more iced tea. Would you like some more, too, Captain?
Oh, thank you. I would.
Well, here's to our health.
Well, how long have you been here, Grandmother?
Ever since I died.
What?
Don't look like that. I said ever since I died, 30 years ago.
Sam.
Who are we to question what happens? What's living, anyway? All I know is I'm alive again and no questions asked. Here, Captain, feel. Go ahead, feel my arm. Solid, isn't it? You hear my voice, don't you? You hear it, don't you, Captain?
Yes, I hear it.
Grandmother...
Well, then why go around questioning?
Well, it's just that we... I never thought I'd see you again, Grandmother.
Mrs. Hingston.
Yes, some more iced tea, Captain.
Oh, no. I just want to ask you a question. Mrs. Hingston, is Mars heaven?
Nonsense. No. It's a world, and we get a second chance. It's like another Earth. How do we know there wasn't one before Earth?
That's a good question, John.
Well, maybe we better get back to the ship, Sam. It's been nice, Mrs. Hingston. Thanks for the drink.
You'll be back, of course. For supper, I mean. We're having fried chicken
Wait a
with
minute.
mashed potatoes.
Wait a minute. What's that? Excuse me, Mrs. Hingston. Sam? Come here.
Hey, well, what do you know, John? A parade. With a brass band.
But the crew. My crew marching behind the band with all those people.
But they're heroes. These people are welcome as heroes.
They abandoned ship. They had orders. I'll court-martial every one of them.
John, listen to me. They found old relatives and friends just like I have.
They had their orders.
What would you have done?
Obeyed orders.
What's the matter?
Sam, I don't believe it. It's impossible.
John, they said I would find you here.
Phyllis.
Of course, darling.
Phyllis.
Of course. Who did you think it was?
This is Phyllis, Sam. My 10 years ago. After that, I never got married.
We're waiting for you. Your mother and father.
They're alive?
Waiting for you. At your old house. On Maple Avenue.
You heard that, Sam, didn't you? This is Phyllis talking. And she said Mother and Dad and the house...
You understand it now. The crew. Same thing has happened to them.
Yes. Yes. When I open my eyes, it'll all be gone. Phyllis will be gone.
Open them, John.
Phyllis. Phyllis.
Oh, my darling. My darling.
It's good to see you children dancing together again. Your mother would have enjoyed it so much, John.
I must have worn her out with all my questions.
Don't worry about it, son. You get a good rest tonight. Then in the morning, the days after, we have so much time now, son. We'll all be together. You and Phyllis, your mother and I. So much time.
Yes.
Oh, don't go away from me, John. Hold me closer. I've dreamed so long of dancing with you. No more questions. Just accept it. That your mother and father were once dead and are now alive. That I was killed. 10 years ago, I was killed in a horrible accident. And now I'm alive and in your arms. Hold tight, John. Hold me tight.
Well, I think I'll run along to bed now. You children won't forget to turn out the lights. Well, you know what to do. Good night, Phyllis.
Good night, Father Black.
Good night, son.
Good night, Dad.
Shall we go out on the back porch, John? Like we used to long ago. Come with me, John. Here. Let's sit here on the steps. Remember that grape arbor? You built it. Oh, I remember you hit your thumb with a hammer, and I cried. You're very silent, John. Is anything wrong?
Phyllis, I just had a crazy notion. Suppose this were Mars.
But it isn't.
Humor me, Phyllis. Suppose it were Mars, and the Martians saw our ship coming and saw us inside our ship and hated us, and they wanted to destroy us, but in a very clever way.
Yes.
Well, what would be the best weapon a Martian could use against us with our atomic bombs, our hydrogen?
John.
No, let me finish. The hypothesis is interesting. The Martians would use telepathy, hypnosis, memory, imagination.
Oh, John, don't question us anymore. No more.
Look, suppose this town is some other shape, a Martian shape. But by playing on my memory and my desires and my wants, they've made it what I've wanted it to be.
Yes.
I suppose my mother and father weren't that at all. But two Martians, incredibly brilliant, keeping me under this dreaming hypnosis as other Martians have done it to my men. To Sam.
But me. You've had your arms around me. You've kissed me. We shared old secrets. Was that a Martian hypnosis, John?
Phyllis.
Yes, what is it, John? Where are you going?
I've got to talk to Sam. I've got to find out what he thinks now that he's alone with his grandmother.
Stay here with me, John.
Well, I've got to talk to Sam. Maybe he's beginning to wonder, too.
You're not going anywhere, John.
Phyllis!
Phyllis, no! You're not Phyllis! I was right. You're not... You're not...
Friends, comrades, fellow Martians, this is a great day for Mars, a day of great rejoicing. As number one of Quadrant 327B of Sector Q, it is my proud privilege to read to you this message from the planetary All-High. It says, congratulations on your splendid work in meeting the barbarian invaders and atomizing them. You have proven the complete efficiency of Plan A, and hereafter, mass hypnosis will become standard operating procedure in repelling any further invasion from outer space, be they submartian, from Earth, or any other creature from any other planet. Well done. I can add little to this unstinted praise from the All-High, but I would like to point out to you that what you have accomplished could not have been done had it not been for our space heroes who have risked so much and often given all in recent years to keep the planet Earth under close surveillance. This surveillance, as you know, has been accomplished by our space patrols, known to Earthmen as flying saucers. They were courageous, these Earth creatures, to brave space in that crude ship, but they were inferior beings, and therefore they had to be atomized. Their extinction was necessary to ensure our way of life. Yet perhaps, since this has been your first encounter with creatures from outer space, you whose glorious victory this has been, may want to say something. Is there anyone who wants to say something? You?
Well, yes. It was a very interesting experience. He said his name was John Black. He was a nice young being. Nice. He thought I was his father, whatever that is. I guess that's all I want to say.
And you?
No, I don't think so. Well, I thought of something, but I forgot.
I see. And you?
One of them asked me if Mars was heaven. What's heaven?
I don't know. Now for the business at hand. The ship they came in. The destruction of it. Disintegrator squad.
Ready.
Proceed.
Compress charge. 16 atmospheres.
Charges compressed.
Low velocity. Trajectory 2.
Low velocity. Trajectory 2.
Release. Charge!
The ship they came in, it's gone.
Motorists, did you ever consider that taking care of a car is something like caring for a baby? It's easier when you've got a system. And in caring for your car, the Richfield gasoline dealer has a system. It's called Richfield All-Point Safety Service. Have the Richfield dealer service your car tomorrow, because hot weather is hard on lubricants. Wear and sudden breakdown can occur before you realize there's anything wrong. With All-Point service, the Richfield dealer will change your oil to fresh, Rich Lube all-weather motor oil and give your car a careful All-Point lubrication job. Chassis, differential, front wheels, and transmission. And that includes service of automatic transmissions with the new Richfield automatic transmission fluid. Richfield All-Point Safety Service also includes inspection and care of all the likely trouble spots, such as battery, spark plugs, tires, and radiator. So save time, save money with this one-stop service. Get warm weather protection for your car now with Richfield All-Point Safety Service. Look for the Richfield Eagle on the cream and blue pumps. Escape is produced and directed by William N. Robeson. And tonight has presented Mars is Heaven by Ray Bradbury. Adapted for radio by Morton Fine and David Friedkin. Featured in the cast were Jeff Corey as Captain Black, Florence Bates as the grandmother, Bill Johnstone as Dr. Hingston, Walter Catlett as number 1 of Mars, Elizabeth Root as Phyllis, Paul Frees as Peter Lustig, Ian Wolfe as the father, and Stuart Novins, who played himself. Also heard were Ruth Parrott and Ben Wright. Special music arranged and played by Ivan Ditmars. Next week.
Your standing on the floor of the ocean, pronging up a fortune in sponges. But moving closer and closer to you, his huge sponge hook raised to rip open your diving suit, is a man from whom there is no escape.
Next week at this time, the Richfield Oil Corporation of New York invites you to escape with an exciting story about sponge fishers in the Gulf of Mexico, as John and Gwen Bagney tell it in The Big Sponge. Be listening. Goodbye then until the same time next week when once again we offer you Escape. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Wheat Chex, Rice Chex, and Good Hot Ralston present Space Patrol! High adventure in the wild, vast reaches of space. Missions of daring in the name of interplanetary justice. Travel into the future with Buzz Corey, Commander-in-Chief of the Space Patrol! In today's transcribed adventure, Buzz and Happy have gone to the offices of John Crozer to rescue a noted scientist abducted by Crozer.
I know Professor Hegman is somewhere in this building, Crozer. Take us to him.
Why, Commander, you're mistaken.
Oh, no, we're not. Don't sit there under that sun lamp. Take me to Hegman.
Well, all right, Corey, if you insist.
My eyes, turn off that lamp.
Get him, Happy.
I can't see.
Here's yours, Cadet. Now, Corey, I am going to finish you off permanently.
We'll be back in just a moment with today's Space Patrol story, The Brain Bank and the Space Binoculars.
Wow! Man, oh man, oh man! Yummy!
That boy sounds excited, doesn't he? Well, no wonder. He's just had his first taste of Rice Chex, the delicious bite-sized super cereal.
Wow! Man, oh man, oh man! Yummy!
Same boy, yep, and the same cereal, only it's his second bowl. Try Rice Chex yourself, gang. You'll love it.
I'll say. And when you eat a good breakfast with Rice Chex, you're supercharged.
Absolutely. So, gang, try it today. Delicious Rice Chex. And, hey, today's the day for the biggest news ever announced on Space Patrol. So stand by, and I mean with pencil and paper, for the most sensational message you ever heard on Space Patrol. Not far from Space Patrol headquarters on the man-made planet Terra is the Crozer Building. From his spacious offices on the top floor, John Crozer directs his far-reaching enterprises. It is Crozer's proud boast that his payroll list is virtually a scientific hall of fame, an interplanetary who's who of distinguished men and women in every field of science and technology. His rugged features and penetrating eyes are reflected on the polished surface of his mammoth Endorium desk as he confers with his Director of Plant Operations, Erla Becker, and the noted physicist, Professor David Hegman.
Miss Becker, is there anything else on the agenda which concerns Professor Hegman?
Yes, you wanted me to remind you to congratulate the professor.
Oh, yes, the Kleinhurst Medal. I understand you're to receive it at a banquet this evening.
That's right, Mr. Crozer.
Congratulations. You're upholding the Crozer tradition.
The Crozer tradition?
Of course. For the past 3 years, every winner of the Kleinhurst Medal for Scientific Achievement has been associated with Crozer Enterprises.
Oh, I understand that the medal is given for work, which I did before I joined your organization.
Well, I speak in jest, more or less. Well, that completes our conference, Professor.
I have something to tell you, Mr. Crozer.
Yes?
I am forced, with regret, of course, to submit my resignation.
Your resignation? I don't understand, Professor.
Well, it's my doctor's orders. He says my health won't permit me to continue my work for your company.
But you're under contract. You're absolutely necessary to this project.
I am very sorry, but my doctor tells me that unless I retire, I may not last for more than a few months.
This puts my company in an awkward position, Professor. I won't tolerate it.
I regret this as much as you do, Mr. Crozer. But I don't see what I can do about it.
See here, Hegman. It'll take us 3 years to complete construction and install equipment. Your contributions are useful now in our present stage, but they'll be absolutely essential in 3 years from now.
Oh, Mr. Crozer, no one individual is absolutely indispensable. There are other scientists in my field.
Hegman, I hired you because you're the only man alive today who can see this particular phase through to a successful conclusion. This whole operation is geared around you. You can't resign.
Well, my doctor tells me that I have no choice. Surely you don't expect me to endanger my life?
I'm going to have a talk with that doctor of yours.
I'm afraid it won't do you any good, Mr. Crozer. 2 other doctors have confirmed his diagnosis.
Very well. We shall see. Our interview is ended, Hegman. I have other matters to discuss with Miss Becker now.
Goodbye, Mr. Crozer.
Goodbye, Professor.
The nerve of that man. Trying to walk out on me, John Crozer.
I understand how you feel, but as the professor says, it can't be helped.
I'll hold him to his contract. He's got to keep working for me. That project must be finished as I planned.
You can't force him to disobey his doctor's orders, contract or no contract.
Look here, Miss Becker. You're director of plant operations. It's up to you to find a way out of this.
Well, let's face facts. Hegman's brain will be of most value to us 3 years from now. But he's got to retire immediately, so he's out of the picture.
If there were only someone else with his knowledge.
There is one possibility, but it's not legal.
Well, let's hear it.
Suppose Professor Hegman were to be put in suspended animation for 3 years. Then, when he's revived, his health will be exactly as it is now. He'll be able to do a few months of work when he's most needed. Of course, Hegman wouldn't consent to it.
Well, that's immaterial to me. We'll do it by force. That's an admirable idea, Miss Becker. We'll literally be establishing a brain bank. We'll put Hegman's brain on ice till we're ready to use it.
There's only one catch. How are we going to explain his disappearance?
Leave that to me. You locate some suspended animation equipment and get it here. When we get it set up, we'll bring Hegman to my office for one more conference.
Well, nobody seems to know where the professor is, Commander. I've even checked with his doctor.
I've just phoned Crozer. He hasn't seen him either.
Well, maybe the professor forgot about his appointment with you. He could be out with friends celebrating. After all, he's just received the Kleinhurst Medal.
I doubt that he'd forget the appointment, Happy. He seemed very anxious to talk to me. You knew, didn't you, that the professor has to retire?
No. Why, sir?
Well, his doctor warned him that he can't keep up the pace. Oh, by the way, there's something I've been wanting to show you. Here. Have a look at this new Space Patrol equipment.
Binoculars?
Yes. Not just ordinary binoculars, Happy. They're space binoculars.
Can I try them out, sir?
Sure, they're yours.
Gee, they've got a band on them so you don't have to hold on to them. Yeah, the band fastens them around your head.
Right, it leaves your hands free. Now take a look over the city with them, Happy. I'll take the polarization off the windows.
Wow, these are great, sir. Why, I can even read a small sign on the space terminal building. A sign I can't even see without the binoculars.
Wait till you get out in space, out of the atmosphere of Terra, then you'll really see something.
You mean they're even better out in space?
They're so sensitive, they'll pick up very small objects many miles away. They're designed especially for pilots on search missions. Within a planet's atmosphere, they're good 4-power binoculars.
Wow. Hey, look, there's some people walking 5 blocks away, and it looks as though I could almost reach right out and touch them. Hey, from what you say, Commander, I'd sure like to take a look through them out in space.
Mr. Crozer, this is the most outrageous thing I have ever heard. I refuse to let you do it.
Professor, I'm afraid there's nothing you can do about it.
Don't you know that even if I gave you my consent, it is still illegal for private persons to use the suspended animation process? Now, if you'll unlock the door, Crozer, I'll leave.
Hegman, my friend, you're not leaving. Miss Becker, we might as well get started with the process. Give him the preliminary injection.
All right, Mr. Crozer.
Get away from me.
Hegman, get away from that window.
I wouldn't advise jumping out, Professor. It's a long way to the street.
Yes, and it wouldn't be suspended animation. It would be terminated animation. Go on, Miss Becker. Give him the electronic injection.
Get away from me.
There. I've got my hand over his mouth. Quickly, Miss Becker.
Oh, hold him still.
Quit struggling, Hegman, or you'll really get hurt.
There.
How long does it take for the electronic injection to knock him out?
A few seconds.
Good.
He's losing consciousness.
All right, Miss Becker. Let's carry him into the suspended animation chamber and finish the process.
Commander, look. I can see the lettering on the windows of the Crozer building. These binoculars are fantastic, even in the atmosphere.
Take a look at Terra Park, Happy. You can probably see the ants from the rose bushes.
Yeah, they aren't that good. But I can see people inside the Crozer building. Look, sir. On the top floor, there's a man standing in the window. I can see him just as plain. Here, sir, try him.
All right, I'll take just one look, but then I think we'd better get to work.
Yes, sir. It's the fourth window from the corner of the building, see?
Yeah, it is clear. Well, that's Professor Hegman.
Huh?
At least I think it is. Oh, he's gone now. Wonder why Crozer didn't have the professor call me. I suppose Hegman's busy closing up his work with Crozer.
Yeah, I think he'd at least phone you.
I'll tell you what, Happy. I've got an errand to make right near the Crozer building. Let's drop in and see the professor on the way over.
I've checked the suspended animation equipment. Everything's working fine, Mr. Crozer.
How long does it take?
Another hour and we'll be through.
Oh, good.
You aren't going to keep him here in the building, are you?
No, in a day or so we'll take him to Mars.
We'll have to take the equipment there, too. We have to give him booster treatments every 3 months. Say, haven't you been under that helio lamp long enough?
Oh, I've got it on low setting. You ought to try it, Miss Becker. It's really very relaxing.
Not as relaxing as that treatment we're giving Hegman.
Yes. He'll be relaxed for 3 years.
Speaking of Hegman, did you see him throw anything out of the window when you were struggling with him?
I know. Did you?
Well, he made a sort of throwing motion with his hand. I think I'd better go down the street and check.
Yeah, that's right. He certainly didn't have time to scribble any note. But let's not take any chance. Come in.
Hello, Mr. Crozer.
Commander Corey. Nice to see you.
Thank you. This is Cadet Happy.
How do you do, Cadet?
How do you do, sir?
Sit down, gentlemen. I hope you don't mind if I go on with this lamp treatment. I'm acquiring a tan for myself.
I see you are.
Unfortunately, I don't have the opportunity to get it the natural way as you space patrolmen do.
That's quite a high-powered lamp.
Yes, it can be if it's turned up. Have to know how to handle it.
The reason I came over, Mr. Crozer, is to see Professor Hegman.
The professor isn't here. Remember, I told you I'd ask him to call you if he showed up.
We saw him standing by the window of this office just a few minutes ago.
You saw him in the window?
Happy and I were testing some new Space Patrol binoculars. We thought we saw Hegman.
Hegman? You must be mistaken. Oh, I know. One of my attorneys was here a while ago. He's about the same height and build as Hegman. Yes, come to think of it, there is a resemblance. Funny, I never thought about it before.
Well, apparently we made a mistake, Mr. Crozer. Sorry to have bothered you.
No bother at all. No bother at all.
The old fool threw this out of the window. I didn't know there was anyone in here.
We were just leaving, but I've changed my mind. May I see what you have there?
Oh, it's nothing at all.
No, Commander. Just a little promotion gimmick one of our companies is putting out.
May I see it?
Yes, of course.
The Kleinhurst medal, a promotion gimmick?
A Kleinhurst medal?
There's only one man who would have that medal on his person at this time. That would be Professor Hegman.
What are you getting at?
This young lady just said it was thrown out of the window. Well, why would anyone throw a valuable award like this out of a window unless they wanted to attract attention? Give it to me straight, Crozer. Where is Professor Hegman?
You're jumping to conclusions, aren't you, Commander?
That was Hegman we saw. If you're not trying to hide something, why are you and this woman so evasive? Why did you lie about the medal? You've got Hegman somewhere in this building.
I suppose you won't be satisfied until you search the place.
That's right.
All right, then. Come on. I'll just turn this lamp on full power and right in your eyes.
Turn it off!
My eyes. Get him, Happy.
I can't see.
No, but I can. Grab that bookend, Miss Becker. Nice work, Miss Becker. And now, Cadet. That'll hold them for a while.
It was a smart trick, Mr. Crozer, shining that helio sun lamp in their eyes.
I had to do something after that faux pas you pulled.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know they were here.
We've got to move fast. Arrange for a spaceship. We'll get Hegman aboard.
What about these two?
We'll lock them in the next room till we get Hegman out of here. Then I'll come back and finish our Space Patrol friends for good.
We'll be back with Space Patrol in just a moment.
Oh, come on, Captain Trufeld. Tell me what Buzz Corey's big new surprise is for all his kids. Won't you, huh?
No, I can't tell you.
Please?
Nope, it's a secret until the end of today's program.
Is it something the commander himself uses?
Oh, you bet it is. It's official Space Patrol equipment.
Can't you really tell me what it is?
Nope, it's a secret.
Well, then, how about a little hint?
Well, I'll tell you this. It's something absolutely new and different.
Oh, man, I just can't wait.
Well, you hurry now, get a pencil and paper ready, and keep listening, because in just a few moments, I'll tell you what the big surprise is and how you can get it.
and all you boys and girls listening in, you do the same thing. Get pencil and paper ready and be all set to take down the information you need to get that wonderful new surprise Buzz Corey has for you. So long for now. See you at the end of today's program when I'll tell you all about the biggest, the swellest, the most exciting value ever offered on Space Patrol. John Crozer and his assistant, Erla Becker, have placed Professor Hegman in suspended animation, intending to revive him 3 years later to finish vital scientific work on a vast project Crozer is managing. When Commander Corey and Cadet Happy decided to search the building for the professor, Crozer blinded them with a beam from a high-powered helio sun lamp and then knocked out the virtually defenseless space patrolman. Buzz and Happy have just regained consciousness and their vision and find themselves locked in a room.
It's no use, Happy. You can't break down that door.
We must be in the Crozer building, judging by the view from the window.
Yeah, on the top floor.
And Crozer's probably miles away by now with the professor.
I doubt it. He wouldn't go away without being sure we'd never be able to report him. He'll be back.
And then I've got a feeling we'd better get out of here before he returns.
Let's take a look out the window.
Say, maybe we can attract the attention of somebody in another building. Oh, it's locked, too.
Yeah, there's a ledge out there. If we break the window, we could crawl on the ledge to another window.
And that's not my idea of a pleasant stroll, 50 stories up.
It's not mine either, but it's a lot safer than what Crozer has in mind for us. Yeah, this chair ought to do the trick. Turn your head, Happy. Watch out for the glass.
You want me to go first, sir?
Wait till I knock these sharp splinters loose. Hey, let's go. I'll boost you up.
I can make it now, sir. Wow, what a long way down to the street.
Don't look down, Happy. Lie flat on the ledge and crawl.
Yes, sir.
I hope we can find another open window along here.
I wish this ledge was wider. I feel like a tightrope walker.
Oh, easy, Happy.
Oh, my knee slipped off. For a minute, I thought I was a goner.
Don't try to hurry.
Commander, we're in luck.
Is that window unlocked?
Yes, sir, and it's partway open. All I have to do is push it.
Easy now. Don't push yourself off the ledge. Anybody inside?
I don't see anybody. Well, here goes. Nobody in here, sir.
Watch the door.
How are you going to do away with Corey and the cadet?
You unlock the door. Swing it open. I'll blast them with this gun before they have a chance to rush us. Open the door and be sure and stand back.
Don't worry.
All right, Corey. We'll... Gone.
Gone?
This room's empty. Look at the window.
Well, they couldn't have climbed down the side of the building.
They certainly wouldn't jump. The ledge. They used the ledge. By now they've probably given an alarm. This whole building will be swarming with space patrolmen soon.
Well, what'll we do?
We've got to get out of here. We'll have to forget about the equipment. We've got to get to the spaceport and blast off right away. Hurry, Erla. We haven't a second to spare.
Take it easy, Happy. All right. Open the door.
Well, there's nobody in here either. Just some equipment of some kind.
Some men's clothing, coat and a hat.
What kind of equipment is this, sir?
Suspended animation equipment.
Oh, that's what they use in criminal rehabilitation centers to help cure criminal tendencies.
Yes, but how did Crozer get hold of it? And what for?
I thought it was against the law for private individuals to have these.
Well, that wouldn't stop Crozer. Why would he want this equipment? Why would he want to put under... Professor.
What?
That must be it. With the professor in suspended animation, he'd be easier to conceal.
Well, sure, but what good would the professor be if he was unconscious?
Crozer could revive him whenever he needed him, even months or years from now.
I wonder what Crozer did with him.
He'd try to get him off Terra. Let's go to the spaceport, Happy. Happy, I've just checked with the space control dispatcher. There was a slip-up. Crozer blasted off.
Didn't they try to stop him?
The order to hold him wasn't relayed to the dispatcher in time.
How long ago did Crozer blast off?
About 15 minutes ago. I've got a description of his ship. Come on, Hap, let's get aboard Terra 5. We're going after them.
That was luck. I was afraid they'd stop us at the spaceport.
Look in the viewscope. There's a ship following us.
The space patrol.
Yeah, we are in a spot. We can't outrun that ship.
No, but we can get rid of the professor. Corey doesn't find Hegman on the ship. He can't prove anything against us.
Well, what do you intend to do? Just shove the chamber out into space?
Chances are the professor will never be found. Come on, we've got to get rid of Hegman, and then we'll take our evasive action. Corey won't stand a chance of locating that box with Hegman in it.
We're gaining on them, sir. All that crazy flying Crozer's doing isn't getting him anywhere.
He's trying to delay the inevitable as long as possible. Maybe I can talk some sense into him. Turn on the spacephone, Happy.
Yes, sir.
Commander Corey aboard Terra 5 calling John Crozer in private cruiser T431. Commander Corey calling John Crozer.
This is Crozer. Go ahead, Corey. Go ahead.
This hide-and-seek isn't getting you anywhere. It's just a matter of minutes. Play it smart and give up.
You talked me into it, Corey. But at least I gave you a run for your money. What do you want me to do?
We'll pull alongside and join airlocks.
All right, Corey.
Just a warning, Crozer. Don't try anything. Corey out.
They've joined airlocks with us.
All right. Have you got the electronic injection?
Yes, it's right here.
Yeah, they won't suspect anything from you. Watch your chance and use it on Corey. I'll jump the cadet. He won't be in your way. And then when they're unconscious, they can join Professor Hegman out there in space. All right, Earl. Here they are. Careful, don't make any slips.
All right, Crozer. Get your hands up.
Of course, Commander.
Searching for weapons, Happy.
Yes, sir.
Where's Professor Hegman?
Professor Hegman? Why, we haven't the slightest idea.
Come on, quit stalling. What did you do with him?
We haven't got him. Search the ship if you don't believe me.
That's just what we will do.
He doesn't have any weapons on him, sir.
All right, keep your gun on them, Happy, while I search the ship.
All right, lady. Get over there next to Crozer.
My name is Erla Vecker, and I'll be glad to. Oh, excuse me. Commander?
Oh, no, you don't. What have you got there?
Let go of me.
In your hand. Come on, Erla. That's it. Well, electronic injector.
I'll take that gun, Cadet.
Oh, no, you don't.
All right, Crozer.
Hey, nice one, Commander.
Don't try anything like that again, Crozer. And no tricks from you either, Erla.
It's lucky you saw her with that electronic injector, sir. You should have had us in deep freeze.
That was a very foolish move on your part, Erla. Now you're in this just as deep as Crozer. Now, let's have it. Where's Hegman?
All right, I'll tell you, but you'll never find him. He's somewhere out in space.
What? You threw him out of the ship?
That's right. All sealed up in a nice cozy box. Chances are he'll float forever in space, in suspended animation.
Have to get these two into our ship. We'll cut loose and start a search. They're going to stay right with us till we find them.
Nothing, sir. That blip turned out to be a small meteor.
You're just wasting your time, Corey. That box with Hegman in it is just a speck in space. Your viewscopes won't show it unless you happen to be very close.
We'll just keep looking.
I've got the viewscope on full sensitivity and wide scanning, sir.
I'm afraid the viewscope isn't much help. Well, here, let's try these.
The space binoculars.
It's a long chance, but it might work. Scan in a slow arc, Happy.
There's something. Oh, no, it's just another meteor.
Let me have a look. Hey, wait a minute. It's a rectangular shape. Check it, Happy, about 10 degrees high.
I see it, sir. Yeah, it's a box, all right. That's it. We found it.
Change vector, Hap. Let's hope we're not too late. There it is, Happy.
Yeah, I can see it now through the viewscope, even without the binoculars.
Stand by to fire forward braking rockets.
Standing by, sir.
Fire rockets. Yeah, that'll stop us, Happy. All right, get the spacesuits. We'll pull the box into the ship. And Crozer, we'll just lock you and Erla in a compartment till we get the professor aboard.
Why don't you sit down and relax, Crozer? You'll wear out the commander's carpet.
Why don't we hear from the hospital?
Yeah, you're pretty worried now, aren't you, Crozer? You know, if Professor Hegman doesn't come out of that deep freeze, it's going to go mighty hard on you and Erla.
Well, they should know by now.
Oh, for Saturn's sake. Sit down and stop that pacing.
Oh, here's the commander.
Crozer, look who's with him.
Professor Hegman.
That's right. It's certainly lucky for you two that the professor pulled through that treatment.
Yes. And, Mr. Crozer, it will give me a great deal of pleasure to testify against you.
And helped me with more of his work than the doctor first thought.
Well, in that case, we actually did you a service, Professor. Commander, that should be taken into account.
Don't think you're going to get off easy on that account.
It's just luck, and the fact that we had these space binoculars that saved the professor.
Yes, Happy. I had no idea that the binoculars would actually help us save a life.
You sure were right about their being terrifically powerful out in space. And they're great in a normal atmosphere, too.
I'm not going to lose any time in issuing them to all Space Patrol personnel.
Sir, did you know that when you look through the binoculars the wrong way, you can see into the future?
Oh, I was under the impression that they just smallify. But if you say so.
Oh, that's ridiculous. It just makes objects look far away.
Uh-huh. And far away, I see a criminal rehabilitation center with 2 people in it, John Crozer and Erla Vecker. And they're getting the same kind of treatment they gave Professor Hegman, suspended animation. You want to have a look?
In just a moment, we'll give you an exciting preview of next week's thrill-packed Space Patrol adventure. But first, gang, oh boy, first of all, here's that big, wonderful surprise we promised you. Get your pencil and paper, get all set to go. This is the greatest value we've ever offered on Space Patrol. Commander Corey, you tell the gang what this terrific new item is.
Boys and girls, our surprise for you is a pair of those wonderful new Space Patrol space binoculars. Binoculars like the ones I used today when I spied the professor floating in that box way, way off in the distance, remember?
Gang, you'll be able to see way, way off in the distance with the Space Patrol binoculars you get, too. Yes, sir, these binoculars are 4 power binoculars with 4 lenses. And when you look through them, they make people, houses, buildings, cars, everything else, blocks and blocks away, look bigger and nearer and clearer. No adjusting necessary. The lenses are fixed focus lenses. Why, you don't even have to hold these wonderful binoculars up to your eyes. You wear them like official outer space headgear. They have a strong elastic band on them, and when you slip it over your head, it holds the binoculars in place and leaves your hands absolutely free. Makes you look like a man from Mars, because these binoculars stand out from your eyes a full 3.5 inches.
That's right. These are not flimsy little celluloid goggles or a mask. These are real, full-size binoculars. Overall, they're 5 inches wide, 5 inches long, and they're made of solid plastic. Beautiful, long-lasting black solid plastic with bright red leather-like trimming that makes them look terrific.
Now, don't forget, you can see way off in the distance with them. You can spot your dad coming home from work, spot the mailman coming blocks away. You can watch birds in high trees, study animals, identify people in the distance, read signs way, way off, and see airplanes way up in the sky.
And when you look through the other end of your space binoculars, they do a switcheroo. They make close-up things look like they're far away from you.
Yes, sir, gang, these powerful Space Patrol space binoculars are the greatest value we've ever offered on Space Patrol. To get a pair, do this. Buy a box of Instant Ralston. Then, with your name and address, send 25 cents in coin and an Instant Ralston box top to Space Patrol, Box 686, St. Louis, Missouri. This offer good only in continental USA and may be withdrawn at any time.
If you don't agree that yours are absolutely tops, return them. We'll return your money.
That address again is Space Patrol, Box 686, St. Louis, Missouri. Buzz and Happy are approaching a building where the Secretary General's daughter Carol is held captive. Suddenly, they become aware of a tingling, painful sensation and a ringing in their ears.
It's getting hard to walk. I feel like I had a big weight on me.
I can hardly move either, Happy. Nora must be using some kind of ray on it.
A paralyzer ray?
I think it may be worse than that. They're undoubtedly in an ultrasonic beam. Get back to the ship. Get out of range quickly.
I can't. I can't make it.
Happy, get up. You've got to get up. Here, I'll help you.
I can't even crawl. My head, there's 1,000 needles in it.
If we don't get out of this beam, it'll tear us to pieces.
Be sure to be with us next Saturday for the exciting story, The Sleepwalker, when wheat checks, rice checks, and good hot Ralston again bring you Space Patrol! Space Patrol, an original Mike Moser production starring Ed Kemmer as Commander Corey and Lynn Osborne as Cadet Happy, was written by Lou Houston and directed by Larry Robertson. Other players were Virginia Hewitt, Ken Mayer, David Duval, and Bela Kovach. Dick Tufeld speaking. Now, don't forget to tune in next Saturday and every Saturday when wheat checks, rice checks, and good hot Ralston again present the new exciting Space Patrol! And be sure to see another exciting Space Patrol story on your local ABC television station. Consult your local paper for time and channel. Space Patrol comes to you transcribed from Hollywood. This is ABC Radio Network.